load? Oh yeah, still got Lambo Green Loaf. Alright. So I managed to fit most of the mods on. What did I have to get rid of? Oh yeah, the titanium, I couldn't fit that on. I did get 2 new mods though, somewhere. Where is she? So I've got the Goliath, that was one of them. Now that'll be this. Let's buy a couple of them. Did I get 2? Yeah. River by choice, morning, how's it going, dude? What was the other one I got? Oh yeah, yeah, this thing. Oh, is it the same person who makes it? The Executioner. I don't know if this one will be as multi-purpose as the Goliath one, but it looks pretty good. Triple rear axle. So let's give that one a go first, because it's looking like it's going to be the one I'm not going to get stuck into a whole lot of missions with, but if we're going flying around, then it looks pretty good. 10-speed highway, yeah, probably be quicker. Bronson, howdy Mr. Lone Wolf, how's it going, dude? Derek Llewellyn, hey Mr. Lone Wolf, how's it been going? Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks, man. How are you? Active, no, that's just lifted. That front bumper is looking like a snowplow. And again, on this map, it might make sense. Yeah, it depends what tyres. 51, that's not bad size tyres, so it might be alright. Rover by choice, congratulations on the SD1. Yeah, I just read that, 'cause my phone's been flat as a pancake for the last couple of days. I'm trying a new charger cable now, and it's slow, but it's not erratically going up and down on the charge as much. So I've just replied to a few comments and stuff, and yeah, I've not seen the video yet, but someone said, I think he mentions the loaf, which is cool. It's nice of him. The loaf deserves the recognition. He's a goddamn professional. He's earned it. He's hung in there for what we're on now, yeah, phase 6. He's handled the main game and all 6 phases. Only 2 more to go. Reaper Hunter, hello, how's it going? Noob Girl, hi Wolf, hello. Good to have you all joining us. Yeah, I'm going to go chained. I always go chained. What are they? Rear door. I'm sure I've just seen some like spiked tyres, but so a quick look at the these ones. Elbow falls. Oh, thank God! I was going through loaf, and that's what she said. Withdrawals. Hello, folks. That's true. I was gonna, like I said, literally a couple of minutes before I missed last week's live stream, I was gonna do it, and then at the last minute, I don't know, panicked, aborted mission. Yeah, do you know, they look pretty nice. If they're 51 inch, it shouldn't make much difference. And yeah, like I said, I was gonna eventually. I kind of then thought, oh, I won't do this. I'll do Grand Theft Auto, and then I just suddenly got in my head like, oh, the loading times and all that. And to be honest, since then I played Grand Theft Auto to check it out for myself, and the loading times are pretty horrific. So, in some ways, I'm kind of glad I didn't, because yeah. My plan was I was going to just mess around on Grand Theft Auto, probably spend a lot of time trying to steal planes and tanks and stuff out of the army base, but how often I'd die and then have to keep reloading. It'd spend a lot of the live stream just reloading, and then, yeah, because I've got all the missions done, I was like, oh crap, I don't know which missions I can do, can't do, and it just, yeah, last second I was like, oh, just abort. I'd rather miss it than just have one go badly. Well, I don't really. Oh no, wait there. Sorry, I'll have a sideboard. A crane. Can these cranes? I don't even think these cranes are so horrific these days. I'm not bothered about messing around with all that. Nah. Sorry, I'm doing pretty good. Good to hear it, whoever that is. I missed your name though. Reap Hunter, good. How's it going with you? Yeah, I'm not too bad. Cheers, man. Feeling pretty good this week. A little bit tired, but same old. Kenneth Russ, Wolf, hope all is well. Yeah, I'm not too bad, cheers dude, how are you doing? This feels pretty punchy, I've got to say, when I was just driving it then. It doesn't mess around with the torque. Gotta get a goddamn horse though. I've been having my own life withdrawals. Mark Rowe, hey Miss Wolf, how's it going dude? Good to have you joining us. Oh, did I hit the wrong button there? No. Oh yeah, and we'll check that Goliath out in a minute. Lambo Green Life's on the way. Ace Plays Games Network. Hey, big fan of your work. I appreciate it, dude. Glad you're enjoying the stuff. A bit of daylight. Again, I need a mod that's just a permanent sunny midday forever. I'm just curious if Crane it feels a bit lively. That came out quicker. Yeah, that's what she said. Ah, shit. It was all looking so good. Jesus, I say they get worse every month. Not going to give up, but still. Mark Rowe, the loading times in GTA are terrible. Yeah, they are, and that is literally what just made me think last second. And after I missed the live stream, I was kind of like, damn, I should have just done it. But then since kind of testing what I was worried about in the first place, yeah, I kind of don't regret missing it anymore, because I was like, Jesus Christ, I would have spent a horrifically long time on yeah, just loading screens basically. Well, this has all gone horribly wrong. Well, not really. Can be. I can move again, but even this crane, I have to say, this is a mod as well, isn't it? Even this really isn't liking it. Oh, there we go. It's a bit better. That's auto-extending the crane, and that wasn't me doing that. So it's trying to fat shame my loaf. Skinny as fuck, mate. Crane. Pretty sure this crane moves like with more effort. No. See, this is the thing with stubbornness. Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes the game just has to be a dick. He's in. Victory horn. Right, still a crane. Hack. That sits a long way over the back though, that sideboard. I don't know if the crane probably helped push it. Made it a bit worse. I'm assuming trailers are going to be not happening. Let's see though, just we may as well check while we're here. I was gonna say, if anything, it's going to be the ramped flatbed, but I can't see it reaching that. Is any ramped flatbed? Is it just me, or did it not even bring the ramped flatbed up? There's one. Steal that a bit after. No, that's the gooseneck thing, isn't it? Oh, so it's not offering, like, there's no maintenance trailer. It's literally just saddle high and saddle low stuff. Oh well, let's go for a little lap. Secure container. Have I done that one before? What? I don't think I've ever done this mission. That mission, I'm pretty goddamn certain isn't on my normal playthrough. It's weird. I'll have to have a look. We'll just go flying around. We're flying to the mountain. In fact, I know where to go. Oh. Straight into the wall. Flare. Sorry, I missed a comment for a minute there. Hope they fix the bloody cranes the next update. I know, it's getting just crap how bad they are. To the point where, like I said, even normal missions you can't do. Like doing that big loss mission yesterday. It was just trying to get the cargo off the floor. Yeah, it just doesn't feel natural, because then it takes you out of like the whole immersion of the game, and you just end up yeah, you just remember like, oh yeah, crap, it's a game with broken cranes. and then it just drives you mad. By the time you get the cargo loaded, you kind of, I don't know, a bit flustered with the whole thing. Where was I going to go? Yeah, I was going to go flying over here, so... Where the hell am I? There. Go flying across there, through that gateway, and we'll loop back, and then I'll take the Goliath out for an actual proper mission. I just wanted to see if this is any good, because, well, I like the look of it. It's pretty important. But it's got 3 lots of like rear axles. If it's weighted and everything, it should be able to haul quite a lot of stuff. See at the minute, it's hauling a goddamn professional. That's all I need it for. Mr. Wolf, hello, Mr. Lone Wolf. Got all the wolves are gathering. Crap, do I want to go this way? In fact, yeah, let's see. Because this, for whatever reason, they made this little section like death, mud and death snow so unnecessarily slow. I thought I was in high gear. This thing's definitely a pretty punchy truck though. It's not exactly flying along. I think because it's got like 10 gears, they're spaced out, so you're not suddenly, it doesn't feel like it's dumping 1,000,000 horsepower per gear into it. Yeah, this patch here, I mean, it's not the end of the world, it's not like a massive patch of the map, but every single mod I've ever been through here with, they all go the same speed. There's like, just nothing you can do at that. Justin Lynch, hello Wolf, how's it going, dude? Good to have you joining us. Goofy Hellcat, what are we getting into in this stream? Yeah, well, messing around with this thing, which, what was it called? The GWC Executioner. It's just a pretty new mod, it seemed pretty highly rated, and yeah, so far, feels pretty good. And then, yeah, the Goliath was kind of the main vehicle that I'll get stuck into something with. I don't know whether to do one of those massive missions where I need like all the logs and all sorts, I don't know. If I do start one of them, it's going to be like the whole stream is going to be that one mission pretty much. Right, yeah, so how is this on road driving? That's probably me steering a bit late, I was just watching the gears. Definitely a bit of understeer going on. The Spider-Man action though. It didn't look though as well, it might have weighted front bumpers and stuff like that. It did look like it had quite a lot of things going on in that second menu. Can you raise the forward rear axle like the other version of this truck? I have no idea. Trailers, activate anchor, I don't think so, no. I'm going to guess not, because it appears that all the axles are powered. So again, this is like kind of a similar layout really to the Derry. It's not all that different. I know it's not got the rear steer and that, but it's got the 3 rear axles and the 1 front axle, and but clearly they've put more than enough power in this thing to actually feed all the wheels and still make the truck feel pretty good. It doesn't feel overpowered either, I wouldn't say. Like now, I'm feathering the throttle and doing all sorts. It's not, I don't know. It's not flying across here like a lunatic. Plus, I assume it's probably on the juicy side, I admit, this engine. Probably drop it down one though. I wanted to see if it can get through here, snorkel-wise, see how that's doing. Because the, what's it called? The Zik 605R did pretty well. Tell the current's pushing me quite a lot. Might even tip me. Panic winch. A bit of that dead tree there. Yeah, that was quite surprising actually. It needs more weight at the front, is what I'd say pretty quickly, because that current took the front end. And because I couldn't really steer out of it, I was kind of... Yeah, eventually that would have tipped if I didn't fling out some winches. Across here though, this mud is doing pretty nice. Looks like all 3 rear axles are powered, you don't need to lift one. Yeah, true, which I'd rather it that way, because once they do a liftable axle, it does look cool and everything. I don't discredit the fact that they've done it on certain vehicles, because yeah, it's cool to have that kind of thing going on, but yeah, I'd rather the power go into the wheels if I'm going to have the axle kind of there. So again, you can see the current's definitely pushing me sideways. Maybe that's why this thing feels like a bit nippy though. Maybe it doesn't weigh a lot at all. It'd be neat if they added man or daft trucks to the game. The Tatras are decent, but European... True, I certainly wouldn't say no to that. It'd be, yeah. I certainly recognise a lot more of those trucks. Or lorries. Those ones we'd definitely be calling lorries. Davis78, how's it going, Lone Wolf? Yeah, not too bad, cheers, dude. How are you doing? Metal Knight, hi, Mr. Lone Wolf. How's it going, dude? Nathan Province, how's it going, Mr. Lone Wolf in chat? Yeah, not too bad, cheers, dude. How are you doing? So the loading times aren't exactly quick on this game either, but compared to Grand Theft Auto, goddamn. I think I was looking at it, it was about 1 minute 40 to 1 minute 50 to each time I reloaded the Grand Theft Auto game. Just to I did a quick save outside the army barracks, had a Bugatti fully kitted up and everything, was ready to just go flying in, start robbing, yeah, planes, tanks and all sorts, but they kick your ass in the army base. I've stole a tank out there, I've stole one of those DC planes that are the propeller plane. They're a fucking nightmare to try and steal out the base. The fighter jets are pretty easy to steal out the base. But yeah, the army just, they murder you. 99 times out of 100, you are dead in seconds. So it just would have ended up being, yeah, 2/3 of the stream would have been pure Grand Theft Auto loading screen. I'll probably just go flying through this map. Is this, yeah, I've not built that. I wonder if we can cut across there. I don't know if it's worth it. No, we won't. I know what'll happen. This does feel a little bit tippy. I'm doing well, thank you. Nice tip. Oh, sorry, jump there. Justin Lynch, hello Nathan. Who's Beef? That's the problem. I do need to look where I'm going from time to time, but that's the fun in that. I'd like to see a power wagon like the World War One Juice and a half. True, the more the merrier. I was going to get some scouts for this one, but there's a lot of, rating wise, a lot of the scouts look really good. But again, I've got my goddamn loaf, and I don't really know what I'd do with the scout once I've got it. At least with the trucks, they kind of come in handy. This thing definitely a little bit understeering. I appreciate I am on icy roads and that, but I did get, these should have the spikes in the tyres, so if anything. It really doesn't like to steer. Unless I'm just, again, maybe I'd need to recalibrate back to this game, where you have to pre-order your steering. Steer now, so you get to turn left in February. Wonder if it can get down this big fat hill I'm about to send it down. It appears that this truck could benefit from a weighted front bumper, yeah, big time. I don't know if it has the option or not. I didn't go through all that, but if it hasn't, it could definitely do with one. I say power-wise and looks-wise and all the rest of it, it's feeling pretty good. Got a feeling it could tip going down here, but we'll see. One way to find out. Well, it looks like it's going to, but then if you bump the wheels on those rocks, kind of helps. And you just got to kind of drop the hammer. That's close. Alright, winch point. How strong is the winch? It's not bad. Again, these days they're getting pretty gutless. See, I would have tipped over to the right then, but the goddamn horse weighing me over to the left. And now if I tip, it's like a little prop. To be honest, if I get near a tree, I can get him back in there. Oh, he even swung round like a goddamn professional. be alright. How good is it at killing trees? That was a good point. We'll find out briefly. Okay, I'll sod it, I'll do. In fact, yeah, no, leave the engine off. Yeah, where can we go to kill some good trees? There's a good section. I know Black River. To be honest, flying around Black River, this thing would probably suit it pretty nicely. You can definitely tell it's not got a lot of weight to it, because it is a little bit on the tippy. I wouldn't say tippy, but it's just, once it's going, there's not a whole lot. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of weight in the axles and all the rest of it. But I'd certainly say driving-wise, it does feel pretty nice. It definitely looks pretty cool. Goddamn horse, you always need a weight distribution loaf. Exactly. One of the many, many reasons to get yourself a loaf. To publish a book on one day. A book one day on all the ways. That's the thing, I pretty much know I can't tip to the left. Could theoretically tip right, if I still went hard enough. That's what she said, of course. Question is now, do we cut across? Yeah, we could go through the swampy bit. Engine sounds pretty nice as well. Oh man, that was me. I bloody disconnected the winch. Oh yeah, is this... Oh no. Oh, so it has got an autonomous. Yeah, it has. Again though, see look, loaf wheels. Propping me up. Let's see how deep... Oh, that's pretty good as well. It's got winch points on the actual cab. I like that. One of the few vehicles that has that is the... what's it called? The Navistar. And we keep the loaf in. Close enough. You get lucky, you can bounce on something and flick him in there. Like it needs trees, let's see. Not a bad effort. That'll do. There he goes. Oh yeah, horn. The horn's like loud but quiet. It's not a terrible sound. Can we still pack? Let's get him secured. Right, see how this does for a swamp. It's definitely, yeah, it's not too bad. We'll head back there. I want to go and try out this. The Goliath's the one I'm more interested in. Beast, whatever I hit there, it wasn't happy about. Oh, was it that? Yeah. It's probably like the... I have to say, the front bumper's definitely going to be like a bit of a snowplow in certain situations. Especially if you didn't have the raised suspension. But overall, I can see it's a pretty decent, fun truck. I probably wouldn't go around with the sideboard on normally. I wonder actually I have to try at some point if we can stick a loaf on the on the roof. It usually inevitably gets to that point. We need to know these things. To be fair though, I could already say, I bet I could get a loaf on the roof, but this thing's kind of tippy as it is. Well, a loaf on the roof really isn't gonna go amazingly well, I would have said, with this truck. Definitely flies along there. I'm steering the whole time there, but it was, yeah. Although, to be fair, this game does... The mechanics are a bit kind of like you skating on ice once you go over a certain speed. Where's the goddamn winch point? We'll go this way. I'm stuck on the back. Oh, that wall. That'll explain it. See, I don't know why the winches get more gutless. Like, the shorter the winch length gets, when you get to, yeah, about that, normally a little bit shorter than that. I've just seen, what map is this? Oh god, what's it called? Oh, I call it Yellow Brick Road. What is it actually called? Yellow Rock National Forest. So it's the second map in Phase 6. Around this way. What is that? See that it's not the. I wouldn't say it's the most flippable of vehicles. That's not too bad, right? Repair. That's everything. Oh, at least we can do that trick on the wall where, like, you reverse up to something and just keep reversing, and it'll sort of let the front sort of just, yeah, swing around like a pendulum. That's pretty handy. Yeah, what map is this? The Yellow Brick Road, or Yellow Rock, whatever the bloody hell it's called. I call it Yellow Brick Road. Go rally mode. To be honest, again, I could easily get him back in the sideboard, but the fucking cranes are so horrifically bad. But I can bring myself to waiting that long. It's a self-righting loaf though. Just use your loaf, man. Exactly. Again, with the daylight. Goes too quick. Jesus. Too quick. And do you know what? Probably are going to have to take a quick trip to White Valley. This thing might be able to do a new record on the jump. In fact, you know what? Well, yeah, I'm going to go. But I was going to say, I was going to recover it, but it's going to make me do the loading screen twice anyway. So what's it caught on at the minute? This rock section, I have to say, to this truck's defence, for whatever reason, this rock section is a complete dick. Like, the hitboxes just don't line up with the vehicle. Well, that shows you this really doesn't weigh a lot, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, that tree is, like, killable. Engine. It's but a flesh wound on life. So every vehicle struggles with rocks except the loaf, and I don't know why, but it's true. It's been witnessed many times. Loaf just don't give a fuck. Even when the rock is like the size of the loaf. I have actual footage of him climbing a rock bigger than himself on the rift map. The good thing about rolling the Peterbilt is we can see whoever made it painted the cat motor yellow, like it should be. It's attention to detail. Yes, go to White Valley, I will have to. We need to do a bit of flying, I think it is that time. Recover, I was just going to, but it's going to make me recover to Lowland anyway. And then I'm going to have to do the loading screen from Lowland to White Valley, so I just thought, while I'm at it, I may as well just drive to this gateway here, Oh no, Loaf. Don't want to leave him behind. And then at least, yeah, I've got Lambo Green Loaf with me. 100% nuclear power. It's definitely got some oomph to it. Yeah, 10 gears this one. It's a 10-speed high-range gearbox. So I'm assuming it's the fastest one. The gearbox it came with, I believe, was 10, but I'm assuming is like, you know, sort of spaced, so they're not as crazy. It seems like for the most part when I was driving it, it was up in like the first 4 to 5 gears, but yeah, whatever gear I got into then, I didn't look. I'm assuming like above 5, and it dropped the hammer pretty convincingly. Juice of Cane. Hello, Loaf Daddy. How's it going, dude? Good old Loaf is here with us. Oh, he's inside me. It was only a matter of time. Jesus Christ. I mean, this thing's got some some oomph. Not gonna lie, but it doesn't do too well on the steering. What have we got? Still need gas tank. Don't need suspension. Can you say it's bacon? Oh god, he's got a gearbox that keeps going in neutral. He'll still make it, but the gearbox is a pain in the ass. If I put it in low, does it actually... Yeah, it does. Again, we get that. Fuck that thing, it's wasting the fucking time. That was one of the harshest chains of jumping out of gear I've had. Well, I'm going to be willing to bet the Loaf could flip this piece of piss because it feels like it weighs about as much as a bag of crisps. But yeah, I'm not going to sit there and let it knock me out of gear 200 times in a row. Where are we, White Valley? It's for science. We need to know these things. Dang, that truck is smoky. That's true, actually. I did sort of notice that it was kicking out a lot of smoke. I think the fact that it was going so fast, you kind of... As long as the smoke, the thing with a Navistar, it pumps the smoke perfectly into like your third-person camera view. That's what really, like, yeah, sets it apart. Which I kind of think it's funny these days, that they've still left it like that. My Freightliner has 13 gears. Is that what, on the game, or... Do you mean like a real-life truck? Just suppose there is an old 2-axle Russian pickup coming as a DLC at some point. Oh, is there? Cool, cheers, man. Just quickly check, yeah, 10-speed highway, it's got an 8-speed off-road, or a 9/10-speed default. Oh, 9-speed with high gear as an additional overdrive gear. That might be interesting as well. We'll try the high speed, but the highway one. But that overdrive gear, I'm liking the sound of that. If high gear is going to act as the 10th gear, that might be an absolute nutcase. Do you know what? We'll do one. And I'm taking a load for the second one. The Urals, this 355 or whatever they. But yeah, they have some. Again, Russians, they're like, the way they name vehicles, it's like they're still in the Cold War times, trying to make everything some secret code. I've got a feeling this thing is going to fly. Right, 7th gear, 9th already, I think. So this is just the gears. I assume if I high gear it now... Oh shit, I thought that would have been funny. It's a pretty decent distance considering I didn't even hit it straight. That's what she said. you know what as well, sorry, just quickly. Let's get the crane and that off it, because it's only going to just be extra stuff. In real life, yeah, true, I say a lot of gears. Honestly, ever since, I can't even remember who told me. Someone who told me that obviously they had like however many gears in a truck or lorry, and when someone like in a car cuts in front of them, what am I going to do then? Oh yeah, grab a loaf. Oh no, wait, we'll do a run where it's got nothing on. Yeah, like when someone cuts in front of them and then they have to drop down like 10 gears and go all the way back up through them. It's always stuck in my head. If you ever see a lorry now, I let them out. This thing is like trying to jet special just from when you're flooring it. It is actually pretty smoky. I don't think that just won't let me. Like, it keeps swerving itself to the right. One more, I'm not going to be here too long. I'm taking the loaf for this one. Might be like a little... Well, this is, yeah, another reason to get yourself a loaf. It's like a little drag line. It's like a drag car parachute. Something like the blue truck and mud runner. Similar size but different hood shape. I think I remember the one you mean. A bit like an old school truck. I like that it's from Mud Runner. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool if it is. Again, I'm surprised they haven't imported practically everything from Mud Runner, because it's like the meme, it's just free real estate. We've already got it there, it surely can't be that difficult to kind of just transfer it all over. Pretty well as a drag line. Oh shit. It was. This thing just cannot go straight to save its life at high speed. Hey up. Just noticed though the inside axles are turning. That's pretty cool. I don't know if that's beneficial over like the rear axle steering, but still pretty cool nonetheless. Probably still Jeff Special it from here, to be honest. Before it even gets a chance. This thing is just a bit crackers. I'll mess around with it at some point. That's how you end a crash. I was going to say it's got autonomous winches anyway. Right. I've got to go on rescue. Jeez, how many loaves have I got on this map? There's one up there. There's a loaf I just had. Got a submarine loaf. What's he up to out there in the bay? Okay, right. Now we'll get back to some bit more normal stuff. We'll go and get that Goliath and pick a mission. In fact, what missions have we got? This is a problem. I'm kind of... No, I remember going through them before. We'll pick one on... that one. Yeah, in theory, if you could hit that kind of runway and keep that truck straight, I reckon that'd have a pretty good chance of... I don't know, what did the road... I wanted to use the Roadrunner tonight, it's just the memory, I couldn't physically fit it on. I even downloaded the Christmas trailer for it, and I couldn't fit either of them on. Sorry, I've just seen Well Mr. Wolf. I think it was Nathan Provident, and then it jumped up. Probably a non-licensed version. Yeah, true. They seem to... I sort of don't blame him in a way. A lot of the headache of like just the licensing side of things. Just an inch. Good night. Oh, was he saying good night? Good night, man. Cheers for popping in there and saying hello. Yeah, if you change through the gears in a truck, it would have one huge arm and a small one. That's true. My brother used to drive a truck, and yeah, he had like, he could definitely arm wrestle better with his gear arm, and then his other arm was like more tanned, like proper cliche truck driver. Oh, this one, so I believe this is the same modder, so 10 speed highway. Do you know what, for this I'll try the 8 speed off-road. It's rare I go for the off-road option, but considering it's 8 speed, I'm not really complaining. It's looking like it's going to be pretty good on hills, because even if it's going to hit its front chin, it's going to act more like the what's it called, the Tatran. They look pretty nice. 55 inches as well, it's pretty good. That's what she said, of course. Studded, why not? There don't seem to be any like disadvantage to them. Wheel performance, good, excellent, excellent, excellent. You just kind of get free ice grip thrown in. Autonomous winch again, so that's pretty good. Like, you theoretically shouldn't ever get stuck. What's that back? I don't know. It's looking like a good loaf platform there, but seems like the exhaust has ruined it for everybody. Well, it looks like it can fit a sideboard and a trailer. Did it mention? Oh, it's got a crane as well squeezed in there. I wonder if it can have the crane and the trailer. Let's see. The cameras are a bit... well, that's not really... I can't move, the camera's kind of locked. The rear mount, there's no point. What's that one looks like? Rims, I'm not bothered. It's pretty good in black. I think that's everything. Again, it's punchy, but certainly with the off-road gearbox, goes a little bit smoother. Oh, it's got the bloody fine. Yeah, crap. That's the only thing I'm not too keen on. So it can actually, it's not letting me have that one. No, so it's going to block here if you got the crane on the sideboard. A little bit of a shame. It's not the end of the world, but. Surprised, to be honest, because that looks like there's plenty of room there. I certainly think that it should be doable. Goliath has its own 8-slot trailer. Oh, does it? Is it? Oh, wait there. So if I recover it, an 8-slot. Is that going to be a saddle high? Find out. So again, if I like mash L1 and go through the gears quicker, I'm already in 7th out of 8, but I suppose you could leave it to its own devices and it'll kind of go up the gears a little bit slower. I was just seeing, has it got... So there's no rear steer, but it's got like the 2 steerable axles. Oh, is that the... I'm assuming? Looks like it probably sits a bit higher. Well, let's try it out. Just working out where's the best place for a loaf. Probably the trailer. First, got to find a mission. So they're all done. Let's log in. And they're all locked after that. Oh yeah, I remember doing that. Well, all this stuff. Geez, we've got a lot of login stuff left. Metal beams have I got left? I think at some point I'm going to have to take... Is it the metal rolls? In fact, yeah, I need to take that what do you call it? the generator trailer to the like the metal rolls place on the other map. So it's collecting all that. It's just grabbing that trailer. This is what I mean, if they added a couple more trailers it'd be nice. Not trailers. Talking out my arse at the minute. A couple more missions that were like some actual, yeah, just new ones. There is that, but it's not really. Have I actually unlocked that gateway? I believe I have. Concrete slabs. Which I believe might be from there. Oh no, that's the blocks. So this is the problem when you get like, without being able to reset the missions or anything, I kind of slowly herd myself into a position where it's like I haven't really got a lot left to do. So I'd have to grab the bloody concrete blocks. I don't know, just go for a little drive. I'm seriously, yeah, running low on missions. This is what I mean. This is why I kind of ended up skipping it last week, because actually having like good missions left to do is I'm running a little bit low on them. Yeah, see how tippy it is. That trailer definitely looks better. Yeah, it's quite a big ledge here. I assume the legs. Yeah, no, it just sits high enough to where it's like the legs kind of clear the whatever it is you're climbing over, really. And that was the main problem with the other 8-slot trailer. It's the legs fucking a lot of stuff. If it manages to get over stuff like this, then it should be, yeah, pretty good. Unless you drop off an actual ledge. Where's the missions with like wooden medium planks and that? Saying that, I've even got this place unlocked. Oh, it's that mission again. Do you know what? If I can do login with this thing, I might just do that then. Otherwise, well, that at least unlocks like a load of plank missions. So far, I have to say, I like that trailer. I will actually potentially be using that. I need to go and do a login mission in a minute, so I may as well detach that. But yeah, that's pretty decent. I think the new Mac is only automatic. What is that one that's supposed to be coming out? In King's Storytime. Do you know what was it I was thinking the other day? This is the problem. I've got like, I keep remembering ones that I've already said, and then it's like trying to remember the ones that I haven't said. Oh, crap. I'll keep trying to think of it. There was something the other day that I was like, oh yeah, that'll do. Something that I don't need to explain too much context to. Is that short login frame? Surely this could have the medium login frame as well. It's letting you have the long log stuff. Let's take that crane off. It's not really going to do a lot in a minute. Let's see if we can do the long log and then sod it. The trailer has its own ramps activated in the drop down menu. Oh cool, cheers for letting us know, that's pretty good. Actually, like straight away felt there like it's a perfectly usable trailer, just for the fact that it didn't catch every 2 seconds. Got a feeling this will actually be pretty decent for logging. Let's pick a across there. Oh, okay, so I've got to go back down to there. Sod it then, yeah. Just cut through the sawmill. Oh, I still definitely don't like that reverse. Ghostly meows. Hey, Mr. Lone Wolf, hope all is well tonight. Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Hope you're all good too. Matt Dotty, it's a mod truck. Oh, is that one they've added? I heard, wasn't they supposed to be adding a Mack truck to the actual game pretty soon? I'm sure I heard that at some point. Anyone else hate that logging crane? Yeah, I'm not too keen on them. They're, I wish they'd add the ones back from MudRunner. Again, the Mustang pack. It's like a mod that's just, yeah, a truck called the Mustang pack. That's got like the proper login thing on it, and I believe actually, don't think I got the mod in yet, but I think he's also added a mod where you can add that logging crane. Oh no, I don't need to go to this one. You can add that logging crane to trucks, which would probably be worth getting, because it certainly worked very nice. It's just got bigger jaws and they feel like they actually clamp down on the logs a lot better and like hold on to them. They just let them drop out the crane and everything. David Kaiser, hey Wolf, how's it going? Yeah, not too bad, cheers dude, how are you? Just testing out this thing, yeah, the Goliath. I have to say, I'm liking it so far. Certainly like looks wise as well. I'm sure I was watching one of these the other week on YouTube. Driving off a trailer or something like that. Oh my god, it'd help if I could steer to save my life. That was more me, not the truck, to be fair. So it's some pretty decent suspension travel to it and everything. But yeah, certainly with the chin the way it is, it's looking pretty good. I assume it will eat its way over here. See, is it like, is that an unrealistic level of speed and everything for a truck? Like, is that a bit nuts or not? For like something like this anyway. Obviously a normal average truck. But this thing does look pretty purpose built. It's not like I'm going 80 miles an hour. I mean, if you were in it in real life, I appreciate right now you'd probably be letting off the throttle. Just for the fact that in real life you could brake it and then be stuck in the middle of nowhere trying to change an axle or something, but on the game. Rally time. Colin McRae. Wow. Just have to avoid a bit or I die in a helicopter. Again, it's not, yeah, I was going to say, it's not this truck's fault, it's just the most horrific login trailer in existence. Just one day, out of sheer coincidence, you'd think the winch point would be in a place that I need it. Just yeah, by coincidence. Rebel by choice, I'm maxed out. What's that? Is that memory to do with the mods and stuff? Looks realistic to me. Yeah, exactly, because it wasn't like a complete... if that was like really hilly and bumpy, yeah, in real life, you probably wouldn't be rallying across it as quick as that, but... Like I said, yeah, I think that's fairly balanced for the kind of truck it is. And I didn't specifically pay attention, but I assume I stuck like the top engine in and all the rest of it, so... There is options if you want it a little bit more nerfed than that. Look how badly that trailer hooks in. It won't even with full winch power. It can't even just get dragged to the side a little bit. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. That's why I don't like the fine tune. Okay. Trailer can fuck off. I really don't like it. Sadly, if I disconnect the trailer now, I think it'll automatically make me lose the long logs, but you've got to be honest, if you could just disconnect the long logging trailer, this would be a much more convenient way to just drag the logs. Not sure how the logs on the bottom would feel about it, but it's not really my problem. I'm pretty good. I'm getting tired of the Pennsylvania cold. Oh, it's pretty chilly there. To be fair, it's probably not that bad by comparison. It's been pretty cold here, like certainly sub-zero for, generally speaking, for the last week or two. It's getting to that point where, well, I don't know, the warm weather will come back. I'll like it for about a day, and then I'll be like, oh my god, bring on winter. I think the thing is, it's easier to warm up than it is to cool down. So once it's hot over here, because we don't really do the air conditioning and everything as standard over in homes over here, because it's just rare you ever really need it. But when you do, it can yeah, be a bad one. Especially over here, it gets very humid when it's hot. I can already tell I'm going to like this truck for just climbing things in general. I'm trying to think of like a good map where I could go to sort of test it out a bit. Because that's one thing, well, the two things I'd say that are probably wrong with this map. And again, I still definitely like it. It's one of the better phases and everything. If there was a little bit more kind of like, if there was somewhere that was a bit more hilly and all the rest of it. But as well, I don't know about anyone else, I pretty much never use this entire side of the map. Just because there's not really any, I can't be bothered going all the way around the bottom road along here and everything just to get round up here. I sort of never bother cutting across this way because, yeah, I don't know. They needed to make a road that kind of say goes from there and just cuts straight up to there. And then I'd probably find myself using it a bit more, maybe even using that gateway, but it just kind of made the whole side of that map kind of irrelevant, really. Except for the odd mission and like you have to grab some metal beams from over there, that's about it. What truck is that? It's called the Goliath, the GWC Goliath. I believe it's a pretty new mod, so if you go onto the mod menu and then change like the filter for, say, the date added, this should be on the first page or two, I would have thought. And yeah, I'm liking it. The fact as well that it can pull these logs when they're kind of sat the way they are, and the trailer's being a bit awkward. The only other mod that really did this was Fox's Twice Twin Steer, did pretty good at doing that. Spider-Man on that post, will do. He needs steering. I've only got one lot of long logs to do, just the amount of time and effort it's going to take to make that trailer straight. It's not even worth it. Oh yeah, shit, I bet it's down around the corner. Again, completely not paying attention. It takes longer than muscle memory to go from reverse to first. I keep like double reversing and all sorts. Wolf, hey, on Monday, stop by the pub, have a pint for me, my birthday. Oh, is it? Cool, man. Happy birthday for Monday. What's that? It's pretty much tomorrow for me now, technically, isn't it? Because, yeah, it's like Sunday here now. 25 to 4 in the morning. Right, that's that done. So, what was the next one? Medium and short. I don't think it was letting me have a medium log carrier, was it? Which is a bit of a shame. I can have a short. Well, in fact, do you know what? It's not the end of the world, because I can have a short and then have a medium logging trailer and then just do one short, one medium each time. That works out pretty nice. It was 5 degrees Fahrenheit for a high today without wind chill. Is that, yeah, that sounds pretty bad, I'm assuming. I don't know me Fahrenheit very well, but isn't it, I think 30 degrees Fahrenheit is 0 degrees Celsius. So I kind of just roughly know that below 30 is bad. above 30 is a start. Off-road log trailer. Yeah, we could do. This thing should have enough oomph to pull it. It's only so long I can go without a lifeline, so I'm going to have to go and get a goddamn professional. It's cold in Indiana too. You got what are your seasons in America? Is it roughly the same? It's like we're definitely kind of well, I'd say the depths of winter. We're probably getting to the point February, March be sort of springtime. But obviously it's weird thinking like Australia. Yeah, it'll be summer now, won't it, in Australia? Or thereabouts. Yeah, I've looked. Oh, the horn. So the horn's kind of the same, where yeah, it's like loud but quiet. What's the interior like? Pretty basic, not that I care, that is cool. I wouldn't even be able to, I don't know, code a button on the dash. So I'm in no position to be judging, but yeah, it's looking pretty good. I like the way the chin sits, like even when I just jumped down then. Oh, I could have jumped me low into the logging trailer there. Yeah, it's just all, like, you can see from the angle from the chin to the front of the wheels, it, like, lines up nicely, so generally speaking, you shouldn't really get your chin caught on anything like there. About that. Digging through the snowy bit there, it's not too bad. I'm thinking of buying a DLC, but which is worth buying? If you haven't got any, I would absolutely say the Navistar is just worth the money. It's pretty cheap, and it's, I don't know, I really like it. It's more, it's not the most multi-purpose vehicle in the game. Like, if you put a crane on it, you have to have the ramped flatbed, you can't have a saddle low and the crane and stuff, but just the weight of the vehicle, the power, everything, it just feels like a nice truck. Other than that, I'm trying to think, I don't really know, because I didn't like the six-wheeled Chevy thing, Apache, that was it. The Brigadier thing wasn't, I got it on phase 4, and it just wasn't suited to that phase. It needs to be back on a phase like Michigan or something, so if you've already completed Michigan, I probably wouldn't bother with that. I don't know, yeah, I certainly would say, like, if I had to pick one, it'd be the Navistar. Do you think the off-road trailers are heavier? I do, yeah. And I don't think that always matters. If you've got something like whether it's, say, the Iceberg, or just even like this, seems to have more than enough power to pull it, but for some of the sort of in-game base vehicles, which a lot of which seem to get nerfed at the best of times, and then on this map especially, they all seem to get like an extra nerf going on. Yeah, I'd probably just get the normal trailers where you can, but I don't know. The good thing about Fox's trailers, like the off-road trailers that are weighted, is they're more difficult to tip. So in theory, they're still tippable obviously, but once I've got lugs in like this medium trailer, it shouldn't flop around like an absolute madman. But obviously, yeah, you pay for that with like the actual trailer itself weighs more. But this thing seems to be hauling. Overall, I'm definitely liking it. Even this speed I'm travelling feels pretty realistic. It doesn't feel like some OP broken machine or... And it certainly doesn't feel like some gutless thing where you're just constantly rolling your eyes and thinking, come on, just to squeeze a few more mile an hour out of it. Yeah, overall it's pretty nice. I can see, I think it had over 90% like thumbs up rating. I can see why. To be honest, it's the exact sort of truck. I'm amazed the actual game themselves didn't add this kind of thing. It should have been something like this that should have been the top truck in the game instead of, I don't know, the Derry or the Antarctic. I don't know if this will work or not, but if I can knock this tree down... Well, there goes that plan. Well, instead of trying to turn the trailer around, I'm just going to try and go around this way. So it's a pretty good chance to see how this thing... Yeah, even in the water and that there. In the snow, certainly everything's been pretty slow in the snow. Certainly on this map anyway. But that's not slow, that's not 0.1 mile an hour slow, so... Sorry, I just seen a campfire to thaw out the oil in our truck. I just started reading the sentence and it jumped up. This way. I've never been around this way before, so... to convert Fahrenheit into Celsius, you need to subtract 32, multiply by 5, then divide by 9. I remember hearing something like that. I don't know if you're actually being serious there or sarcastic, but I remember hearing, like, when I was a kid, there is some set of sums like that, and it was just like, yeah, I'll just stick to Celsius. Again, America, you just like to, I don't know, use whatever measurement and metric we aren't. Which again, I respect the stubbornness of it. Let's get a bit of daylight. I think this truck is going to make a pretty decent logging truck though. The only thing it could do with is like more of a flat top on it behind the roof, where I could pack a goddamn horse with a vehicle. Well, I won't try it now, but I'm semi-convinced I can still fit one on there somehow. I could get the two front tyres on its roof. Maybe get one of the back tyres on that little round thing sticking up. One of the back tyres on that long straight bit going back. We might be able to get it sorted. I use off-road trailers just for the reason of the dolly lock. Yeah, that's true in its own right. You see though now, like, the trailer's not flopping around like an absolute lunatic. Normally, even on a little bump like that, it'd completely flop over to the side. Because when they do the logging, like, particularly, yeah, the logging trailers, the weight of it sort of sits quite high, so it can get quite boaty, but I'd say it looks more natural now. Like, you can see it sort of bumping over them rocks, but it's sort of wobbling its way back to flat ground rather than, yeah, like it's made of jelly. Pretty nice pace in the high gear as well. It's not, again, going crazy or anything like that. Metric all the way. It's certainly easier. Although again, in England we pick and choose as and when. Metric's handy when it's handy. But then we like to throw in yards and fathoms and feet and inches and stone and God knows what else. Country miles. No one knows how long a country mile is. We just know they're longer than normal miles. Oh yeah, funny enough, I remember that story I was thinking about the other week actually. It's funny, it came up at Christmas. How old am I now? 20. I wish. 33. I think, yeah, so probably about 10 years ago. Yeah, I ended up trying magic mushrooms. And it was just quite funny in the end. Well, there's a couple of things. Yeah, I'll stick to, like, the last time we tried... Well, we tried them once. To be honest, let me know what you think. I tried them once, but it did involve some top-ups along the way for like a 3-week period. Because they were growing in the fields, we weren't picking them, we tried them. It wasn't something I really wanted to do constantly, but I was like, yeah, sod it, we'll grab some. And to be honest, tried them, laughed my head off constantly. For whatever reason, they were just hilarious. And everything looked like... I can't even explain it, but we were watching the film, was it Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels? And Vinnie Jones, it looked like I could touch his face through the TV screen. That's how crystal clear. It was like It says 4K and 8K. This was like 100K TV quality. Like Vinnie Jones was there in the TV, and everything was going well. But then my brother fell asleep with a fan, like a hot heater fan, blowing on his head. And at some point, I think that kind of didn't do him too many favours. And then he went all weird and like stretched out. He stretched out like I think he might have had a seizure. And I don't think it was mushroom related. I think it was like falling asleep with a heater blowing on his forehead related. But yeah, he stretched out. He kicked the table, and the glass went flying. And then this is where I don't know why we were just laughing about it though at Christmas was. There was me, my brother, and my friend there. And when Adam did that, and then he like had his eyes closed, but he looked all fucked up. And my friend said, "Oh, shall we call an ambulance?" And I remember distinctly, just straight away saying, "Nah, he's dead." Like just completely brushed the whole situation off. It's just like, "Nah, fuck it." And then I poked him in the face, and he didn't move. And then I was like, "Okay, probably could do with ringing like someone, ringing someone or something." So then I picked up my phone to ring, yeah, an ambulance, and this was what we ended up talking about at Christmas. When I picked the phone up, I looked in my mirror that was kind of like built into my wall. I was in the caravan at the time, and I could just see my phone floating in the air, but I wasn't in the reflection in the mirror. And then, yeah. So after a few seconds, the weird thing was I can still picture it so clearly. There was a multi-gym thing as well behind me, and I shouldn't have physically been able to see that multi-gym behind me, but yeah, I could. And so then I put the phone back down. So that was like Adam's ambulance was out of the question because I couldn't see myself in the mirror. And then I poked him in the face again, and then he just woke up. And then that was it. And he was like, well, he said he felt like a little bit rough, but he was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then, yeah, then me and my friend just had to sit there, because he went to bed. And then me and my friend were just sat there like, okay, I'd like to be not on mushrooms now. And, yeah, that was it. Sit there for a good few hours. Pretty much wait until the morning. Like, I just want to see someone drive past. I want to see something normal happen. And then I'll go to bed. And every time I went for a piss, because my brother's bedroom door was opposite the toilet, I was honestly staring at his door. I just had some weird feeling that he was just gonna, his door was gonna open, his eyes will be rolled back in his head, and he'll be like The Exorcist. And yeah. So don't do drugs, kids. Well, again, I have to say, it was pretty fucking funny for the first 3 odd weeks, but and then yeah. Things got a bit out of hand. But yeah, I still remember it clearly to this day. But I couldn't see myself in the mirror. I could see my phone though, like completely crystal clear, see my phone. I waved it at the mirror and that, and I just wasn't there. There was a phone floating. And that was it. Another GWC truck that's really good is the G10836 6x6. I'm not sure if I've seen that one, but I'll have to check them out, because to be honest, both of these mods I've grabbed tonight have been... Oh, what happened to my life? Yeah, been good. That other truck one, to be honest, it's funny. I'd certainly prefer this one out of the two, because this is just more like built for SnowRunner. But yeah, his mods are feeling pretty decent, so I'll have to type his name in or something to see what other mods it brings up. Sorry, I'm a typo king. That's all good. I'm horrific with autocorrect, but like I said, autocorrect is just invasive these days. I'll type words correctly. I'll type like the word good, and then it will change it to goat, and it's just like, when the hell have I typed goat phone? Like, what made you think it was a good idea to swap the word good with goat? It's just off its rocker. It's much easier to understand like water freezes at 0 degrees seeing balls at 100. Yeah, exactly. I agree completely. Like, I can appreciate certain things where you just do it for the sake of stubbornness, but I would honestly, for any Americans, I would recommend the Celsius system of temperature measurement. It is so much easier and less complicated than the whole Fahrenheit thing. It's just, yeah, water freezes at 0, boils at 100. You can kind of get an idea of everything in between from that. If something's 50 degrees, it's going to be hotter than body temperature. So it's probably going to feel like a pretty hot bath at 50 degrees. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, isn't it the America? Aren't you the only ones that have just hung on for dear life to the Fahrenheit thing? Were you happy he came back to life? Yeah. But it was just... It was when he, like, must have had some kind of seizure. He went all stretchy and weird. And his, like, jaw was clenched, and it just, again, might have looked pretty normal when you were normal. But when I was in the middle of trying to touch Vinnie Jones's face, and then all that shit started happening, it was just... Yeah, it was like, even though after he woke up, we were both a little bit hesitant, like, he's not going to turn into a bloody monster, is he? But we weren't, like, hallucinating like that. I don't know about, like, I'm sure that, well, I think there's some pretty strong magic mushrooms out there and whatever, but we were just ones that grow in the field over here. Yeah, hallucinate-wise, it wasn't really like that. It just, to be honest, for whatever reason, I was absolutely laughing my head off. I had to have a pillow with me just because I kept shoving my face in the pillow because I was just laughing for hours and hours and hours. I felt pretty comfortable, sat on my sofa. Felt like the sofa was trying to eat me, but in a good way. And yeah, the telly looked incredibly clear. The music sounded good. Colour. I'm not like recommending it for anyone. It was just what we all decided to do one night. Because I never would trust taking anything like LSD, just because I imagine I would instantly think, oh, I hope spiders aren't crawling all over me. I'd sabotage it for myself. Like, I'm not into all, like, mad stuff anyway, but yeah, I don't think I'd ever want to try that. But just when I'd heard people over the years say, oh yeah, pick some magic mushrooms, try them, they're funny. So we did. And to be fair, they were pretty funny. And, well, yeah, but that was how it all ended. That was, like I said, it was the one time that I was on them, but it did span for like a 3-week period around my birthday. But that was the last night I ever did them. Not that I'm, like, scared of doing it, it was just a good finisher, to be honest. Hey, do you play PC? No, I don't, dude. I'd like to get a PC at some point. It's one of the things on the list for the future, because then it just opens me up to being able to play not just more games, but like different consoles as well. As I was saying before, like the old PS2 games like Alien vs Predator game. Yeah, it's on PS2. I've got no way of like recording the footage, but if I got a PC, I could get one of them. What were they called? I don't know, El Gato card or whatever. That's how much I know. Gatto sounds like a chocolate cake to me. But yeah, so in the future I'm looking to do it, but no, not had a PC before. Well, not since Windows... I think we might have had... I don't know, Windows 2000. I definitely remember Windows 98. That's my bread and butter. Give me some Windows 98, I know what I'm up to. I'll get one of them paint documents. I can draw a circle. But yeah, anything more advanced than that and I'm fucked. Microsoft Word and Microsoft Paint. Goddamn professional at them too. Oh, there he is. That's actually quite a nice mission to do with this truck. Do we not even lock any animations? 23 accounts, quite a lot of money considering how like quick and easily that was done. Right, what else we got? Long planks and medium. Yeah, so now I can get the 8 slot. Where have I got to take them? Yeah, don't know if I'll be getting the 8 slot back out of there, but it's not my problem. I'm willing to cut it loose and abandon it. So... Oh no, I need to take that thing off. Canada has legalised mushrooms for medical purposes. Microdosing for depression is a thing here. Yeah, exactly. That's the crazy thing. Like, I'm certainly... I'd say if there's any younger people watching, like, don't be hearing that and thinking, oh, I'll go and do that, because, yeah, I wouldn't. But it's the same over here. They've started, like, cannabis has been legalised for giving to, like, even young kids that are having, like, epileptic fits and stuff. And, yeah, I also did hear that recently. They actually, like, in the 70s, they were studying magic mushrooms, and then, because, like, the government just banned it all over, all the scientific groups had to kind of stop. And then now, yeah, in the last few years, I've started using it for cancer treatment, depression, and a couple of other things. And even as well for people that are like even like terminal cancer, where they know they're gonna die, but they've just sort of, a lot of them have said as well, so I feel a lot better and more at peace with it all after having magic mushrooms for whatever reason. I'd say like anything in life, I wouldn't say is inherently good or bad, if you know what I mean. It's how it's used or abused. There will be some people on heroin that can function perfectly fine. It's, again, certainly not my thing or anything like that. I would never want to try it, but I'm sure there are some people that function perfectly well on it, but then for everyone that does, you get 10 crackheads that go around robbing everybody and all sorts. But yeah, no, that was just one of those things back when we were that age. It was that time of year where apparently over here in around November you get magic mushrooms popping up in fields that have cows in. Not really sure on the mythology behind that, but it seemed to ring true. We found them. And yeah, we tried them really. And to be honest, we tried them, they were funny, so then we went back the next day and tried them again. It was just like that really, and then it ended up becoming this like 3-week long trying it, and then yeah, and then that happened on the last night. And it seemed like a pretty good night to call it a day. That makes sense in some language. I did actually find out something else whilst on magic mushrooms, and it still is true now, even without them. And I still find it pretty odd to this day. If you look in the mirror and look at your own pupils, you can see the reflection of your own head and shoulders and everything, and it just doesn't look like, even if you get really close to the mirror, you can still see a reflection of your whole head and shoulders, and it was freaking me out at the time because I found it out on magic mushrooms. But yeah, it was like a person was in my eye, but I knew it wasn't, obviously. Again, they're not like, I wasn't tripping out and seeing pink elephants and all stuff like that. It was just, but when I figured it out, it was like, what the hell? And yeah, if you go and try it now, it's like, it doesn't seem like your eyeball should be able to still capture that much reflection, but it does. Turns into a US version and storm Washington DC. What's that? Oh yeah, I'm not sure if you were talking about it, but it reminded me of a scene in Canada where all the truckers are giving Trudeau some shit and all that. Yeah, good for them. That's what I wanted to say. Keep it up. It was yeah. Wasn't it over? Is it like forced vaccines or whatever? Which again shouldn't happen. People want to have them by all means, but yeah, people shouldn't be forced to. But I heard it was like the largest convoy of trucks ever amassed, which I thought was pretty funny. I respect it. To be honest, it's probably one of the crappiest trucks I could have chose to do a crane. Same like drinking, I can drink all day. Oh, there's be passed out. I used to drink, like, when I was a teenager and everything, I was always out, like, just, yeah, partying, I suppose, in general and that, so it was, I drank, like, a lot. Like, by today's standards, Christ, I'd be dead. Like, alcohol poisoning 5 times over. Oh. Well, slight bit of hitbox missing there, but I know these things. Jesus Christ. It's GMC truck. Didn't have a lot of resistance to it. Heard Trudeau is in hiding. Yeah, I heard some. I didn't hear a lot about it. I just kind of caught the tail end of it, but I just seen a couple of pictures of all the convoys of trucks and everything, and then heard a bit about what's going on, and I just thought, yeah, good for them. There's certainly one group of people you really don't want to piss off is the people who deliver everything everywhere. Well, originally I wanted to get the loaf on that little end bit, but as you can see, there's a slight hitbox situation going on, so he's not going to be on there for too long. I'm going to have to go and grab. To be honest, I could go up to this one. Oh no, wait there. Oh yeah, it's this one. Might. Medium planks and long. There's an excuse to go on a bit of a trek though, I could do. It'd kind of be nice just to cut up there though. Okay, I'm going to try and go this way. Oh, we could actually sod it. It'll give this 8 slot a pretty good test. And then sort of cut back that way. And then yeah, sort of along there. It's looking pretty good, and I'll do. 50,000 trucks, yeah, that's a shitload of trucks. He's a goddamn professional. Was that the loaf? He's earned it. Yeah, you can just tell by looking at this, like, the trailer does sit pretty high. In fact, the loaf is a pretty handy little, kind of, for scale. Well, again, this route I've just chosen, so if I'm going to get the trailer caught, it's probably going to happen, because I've got a bit of a mad little track to go on. It's just got quite a nice power delivery, so even though it's not rapid and everything, you know how like the game recently just feels a bit like it waits so long to kick the power back in, and your truck ends up just jumping back to first gear all the time. This feels a bit more fluent to where it's just the power's there again. So even feathering the throttle, it doesn't completely like just drain all your power. Hey Wolf, have you ever thought about creating a Discord server? Sort of, like someone was mentioning it, I think it's, well, probably not last week, the week before. I don't really know what I'm doing with any of it or anything, so it's kind of on the list of to-dos or to look into. But yeah, I don't even know what I'm doing when it comes to all that sort of stuff, so... But I'd say at some point in the future, probably. Seen on an SD1 video, says the International Twin Steer can do crane plus 3-slot cargo bed and trailer. Oh, that's pretty cool. What's that, the Twin Steer? Is that on the normal one? Because I thought the Twin Steer normally can't have trailers. Biden has gone mentally. Can't see the rest of that, but I think he has, I agree. My number is 6038, chat room on Discord. Oh right, okay, so it works like that. I'll have to, again, I sort of need to look into it. I'm just not clued up with computer-y stuff at all. I'm going to try and generally avoid as much of it as I can until it forces me to need it. The modded Twin Steer, yeah, that's what I was thinking because of the trailers. Or are you thinking, maybe it's the... Do you mean the Paystar? Which, you know what, I nearly used for a mission the other day. I've kind of been looking for an excuse to use that, because I think that might be the one actually where it could have the 3 slot and all the rest of it. I've already got one set up in my garage, but I can't remember what mission it was. It was only a mission or 2 ago. I just didn't take it because it was kind of overkill for the mission. At least at the minute, I don't think it's the trailer getting stuck. I'm just kind of bumping over rocks and whatnot. If the trailer manages to get through this section, I'll be pretty surprised. Yeah. It's that bloody tree. Dead tree's not really helping the situation. It's kind of not really this trailer's fault, but I could have done with going a bit wider, but I'll just catch on that again. Yeah, well, like I say, I'll kind of give it a free pass there, because just they put that tree in such a dick place that it kind of ruins that section. I remember when I first came this way, I think it was in the Twin Steer actually, and yeah, that tree is like, whoever put it there is a dick. It was actually close to being one section on this map that was like a little kind of hilly, twisty, rocky section to climb, and then yeah, they ruined it with an immovable tree that catches like every truck going. International Twin Steer, Western Star Twin Steer can't have trailers. What's the International Twin Steer? Not sure with that one. Do you mean the Paystar? Best map to play on, including DLCs, contracts, tasks, scenery, etc. I'm up for a challenge, but don't say I'm damn place is a complete AIDS. Best map to play on, including DLC. Do you mean this map? Yeah, the Amur region. To be honest, Cosmodrome I quite liked in the end. I think by the time I'd gone through the first 3 maps, I was just assuming like, oh, here we go, this last one's going to be an absolute pain in the arse, and then it was actually pretty nicely balanced, and it was kind of like, oh, sort of, yeah, it was a nice little break from things. There was a few elements of the Northern Aegis map that I liked, but overall, yeah, not keen on the, like, just, there's not a whole lot you can do on that map, it was so slow and all the rest of it. Cosmodrome as well, that wasn't terrible. Not, I wouldn't say it was up there as like my favourite maps or anything, but kind of not too bad. Oh, we have still got a landslide. Pretty handy that its winch will actually just reach if you can do it the lazy way. Of course, normally I did just send the loaf, send the goddamn professional over. I'll leave that attached, but I'm not pulling it in at the minute. I was trying to use it as little as possible. I'd say though, with a normal 8-slot trailer, that I'd be kind of up shit creek without a paddle right now. Got the legs over, so the rest shouldn't be a problem, he says. Yeah, there always was a bit of an awkward hitbox like on that section there. It's got that like left rear axle absolutely hooked. Right, so again, I don't know if I'd go as far as to say that's really the trailer's fault, because yeah, I was going to say, it's just that rock, it got me when I originally cleared all that land, rock slide or whatever. Oh no, I'm already in the same vehicle, it's camera view I need to change. This snow was really slow, yeah, I don't know why, it's downhill as well. Look how ridiculously slow it makes you go. You'd think gravity would make you roll quicker than this. 5-axle Paystar is nice, but it has a so small fuel tank. True, yeah, it did eat through the fuel pretty quick. Fox's Twice Twin Stair, that's the one you need. I do like that. I'm pretty sure I've still got that mod on. Yeah, but do you think it's cheating? What's that with, sorry, with the mods and stuff? Five-axle Paystar equals International Twin Stair. True, I've never called it that though. Just for the sakes of confusion between the Twin Stair. But it saves me having to say the International and all that as well. But yeah, I know which one you mean. It's I believe, yeah, it can have that triple combo. Like I said, I've got one set up in probably not this garage. It'll be on my main playthrough, so I nearly used it. Again, it's a pretty decent truck, but yeah, it does go through the fuel pretty swiftly. I like the way the front wheels have got like the snow kind of stuck on the rims a bit. What is this like, even though I don't really like the fine-tune aspect, but yeah, I do like the way the snow sticks into the rims. Oh no, it's not logs, is it? Thanks. Some mods are pretty realistic. Yeah, true, that's the thing, it's like, as far as like the mods with cheating goes, it's one of them, it's the sort of game where you can sort of say how long's a piece of string. Like, it depends which mod you get, it depends if you upgrade it to the max or not, and then you've got to sort of argue, like, say if I just take any given mission, if I know I can do that mission with a normal truck, it sort of gets to a point sometimes where it's like, I don't really need to prove it to myself anymore, if you know what I mean, so I just kind of like sod it. I don't mind taking a vehicle that, yeah, strictly speaking, is going to make things like just easy mode. But if I know I can do it anyway, like normally, then it's like, it doesn't really bother me. But again, I didn't really go near mods, and even still to this day, I've got my 2 playthroughs, so I've got one where I use mods and one where I don't. Yeah, I don't want to go that way. Is that like, can't remember if I've been there. Is that supposed to be like that Stephen King's house or something? I probably want to do a U-turn actually. Yeah, well, this trailer is definitely a way better trailer than the normal 8 one. Twin Stair should have a crane and a trailer hitch. Yeah, I agree. At least a crane. But yeah, the trailers, it'd be nice to have a Twin Stair with a, say, a ramp flatbed. Or even if they did that saddle thing. The fact that in real life, the Twin Stair has like a, I don't know, hydraulic saddle or whatever that kind of flips out the bed of the truck. They seriously missed out on like a little neat gimmick sort of thing. That actually would be more than a gimmick, more than like the liftable axle. It'd actually be pretty cool if a saddle folded out, because it'd kind of be quantifiably useful. Fox's Twin Stair has that. Yeah, true. That's what I'd definitely recommend getting, Fox's Twin Stair. Big Bang Observatory. Could risk it, but I won't. Could try and go flying through those trees, but Gives thing a bit of a test on the off-roading. I do like this vehicle. I could happily like have this as just a normal vehicle in the game, to be honest. Looks-wise, I like it. The amount of axles, the ground clearance, the way its chin is, the amount of fuel's good. Wouldn't bother me if they put in it in game and made it say 200 litres as well. It is what it is. Take a goddamn horse with me. Fuel is rarely an issue. Just nothing really OP. You can use the Tegel 06 for all missions, and it will be sort of easy. Yeah, true, exactly. There's enough stuff in the game where, like I said, it's one of them where, to a degree, it depends on your definition of difficulty, because that's, like, I think the devs sometimes sort of mistake difficulty for meaning make them go 0.1 mile an hour in, like, yeah, some snow or something. But in theory, all you got to do is just keep squeezing the throttle, and eventually you'll just slowly crawl through the mud. So, yeah, I'd say difficulty for me is more like this sections where you got to climb over stuff, you lean in left and right, where you might tip and all the rest of it. I like sort of quite technical stuff like that. Or at least if they're going to make me go slow, like, that's a good reason. It feels natural to be going pretty slow when you're kind of meandering along a cliff edge. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I've put a lot of hours into this game as well, so I've done shitloads of missions and reviews and bits and bobs messing around with like every single vehicle in the game. So I already kind of know that benchmark. But yeah, every now and then it's just nice to jump in a vehicle like this and essentially have it like... I don't want it unrealistic OP. Like this, for example, I don't think it feels at all broken or anything like that. It's clearly a bit OP for the game, if that makes sense. Like, since that's kind of their only way of adding quote-unquote difficulty is like vehicles that aren't that strong, that struggle against the terrain. This one's clearly like eating it pretty well. But again, in real life, this truck would be doing the same kind of thing, I reckon. It's like a purpose-built 8-wheel drive, like army-grade off-roading vehicle. And like I said, it's not like it's going 80 miles an hour and, yeah, it all feels weighted nicely and all sorts. Brad dropping knowledge from streams past. Thanks for looking that up. Sorry, I might have missed that. Jason, what's up, SnowRunner? How's it going, dude? Have you joining us? David Kaiser. For Discord, all you have to do, open it, click the plus to create a server, and set it for club/community. When it's open, it'll give you a link. Again, I'll have to, yeah, to investigate this. I wish the Bandit was a lot better. At least they could give it traction. To be fair, when was the last time you tried the Bandit though? Because I'm not saying like, oh, it's great these days or anything, but I did use it recently. And I was kind of surprised how much I didn't hate it. Kind of like, I was fully prepared for like, oh god, I'll use it, because it was just one of them where I'd not used it for a while, and I was like, sorry, we'll get a bit of footage, see what it actually is like on this phase. And yeah, I was just expecting it to be a nightmare for tipping and all the rest of it, but it actually, I don't know, it felt alright. So I'm not sure if they've reworked it a bit. But if you haven't used it in like, since say when we got it, which was for phase 2, was it we got that? I think the Bandit is actually pretty good. Yeah, that's the thing, like, it used to be pretty crap, but I honestly think they have fixed it and done something with it. And you can copy and paste that link to the YouTube description so people can easily join the server. Fair enough, cheers man, I'll, like I say, I'll look into it and see what the hell is going on. Drove Taiga King seems better. Which Taiga do you reckon out of the, like the 2, so sort of the new one on the old one? So it doesn't matter what vehicle you're in, it's just like this patch of snow is coded to only let you go this fast. As soon as you officially get off it, you suddenly get a burst of speed, you're climbing up the gears again and all sorts. Found this on the old interwebs, Mr. Wolf. Lorry meaning originates from the verb lurry, meaning to lug or pull about. That's cool, man. I didn't know that. Lurry. So if you like to lurry, yeah. Interesting stuff. So yeah, lorry certainly. Like, say, I have to say though, normal vehicles on this game, like the Ford Clip 9000 looks kind of like a vehicle we'd have over here that I'd just call a pretty traditional lorry. But a lot of these vehicles, we don't really see stuff like this in the UK, typically anyway. You might see that like military stuff. I do actually see quite a bit of military stuff because there's like a big truck yard near me that have all that sort of stuff. But yeah, generally speaking, you don't really see it, so it doesn't feel abnormal to me calling this sort of stuff a truck, because it's not. I don't even know if I would call this a lorry, because it, yeah. I think it could, like, either way. If you called this a lorry in England, I don't think anyone would question it. But it feels more normal calling stuff like this a truck, since I more recognise them from, yeah, Russia and America, where you'd call them trucks anyway. The only difference is weight. The Action tyres are medium. Medium. I was reading Action again. Sorry, medium something. I completely fucked that one up. The problem with both is they like to sink into the mud instead of go through it. Pretty good at not getting stuck, but it will slow down every time. And it's been basically confirmed that Phase 7 is taking place in Tennessee in America. Yeah, it should be pretty cool as well. Considering when I drove through this section in a Dolphin a little while back, I think I ended up getting actually like completely stuck there. So this was a little bit slow crawling through there, but I've got an 8-slot trailer, etc. So yeah, it's doing pretty well. I like it. Taker tyres also mean lower centre of gravity due to weight. Yeah, true. I do like the big fat Taker tyres on the Taker. Where is the Dolphin? He's chilling in the garage. Well, in fact, doubt he'll be in the garage. He'll be abandoned somewhere on these maps. I might have to find one. I'd say this is a pretty close comparison. Kind of like a Dolphin truck. Probably could have done with going wider on that. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like the trailer's pretty generous on not just flicking the cargo off when it tips as well, because when I was stuck on that log section near the beginning where I had to kind of just like winch, the loaf on the trailer didn't tip off either, and I don't know if it, like, maybe I was just a degree or two off like where it tips, but yeah, it certainly seemed like it let me lean pretty far. Just like, yeah, the more front half of the truck, the way it can just kind of keep jumping and bounce its way over everything. Yee. Yes, the weight helps with that. What's that on the tyres? Did you see that the Bandit uses Action muds instead of the Tager version? Oh, I didn't even realise they were like different versions. That Action thing or whatever, I just call it Taz, and the Warthog. I like them. The only thing is, yeah, because the trucks have no weight to them, they yeah, particularly in snow, they're definitely pretty bad. They can be in mud as well, because they just sort of sit on the top. They don't punch their way through as quickly. I went fourth and bought the Dolphin. I love how it has sorry, it jumped a bit there, but it was amazing. Amazingly fast in high range. I just love it. Yeah, Dolphin's really good. Still, for all the base trucks in the game and everything, I still think that's my favourite. Obviously, favourite vehicle is the Loaf, but out of the trucks, the Dolphin, it's just always been a good truck, and even though it has got a bit of a small fuel tank, it makes up for it very well. Like, you get a lot of use out of that fuel tank. Or you get a lot of miles out of it, should we say, because it ploughs along pretty well. I think I won't put it all on the trailer, but I'd say the hitbox of like that rear axle could probably do with rounding off a bit more, because when it got hooked on that landslide as well. I remember the landslide was a bit of a troll, but it should be able to get over this barrier. I wish it would. So I could really do with draining the main vein in the next minute or so. How long's the winch? Oh, slight tree. Oh. Not a lot. You can see the rear axle's got like hooks. Really, game? You're just going to pick everything except the... Jesus Christ, it's such a troll. What the hell's going on with the loaf? Do you know what? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go to the toilet. We're fapping around with it. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Back, sorted. Yeah, why didn't I let me get the loaf? One day, when I try to push a piss out that hard again, I'm going to piss a ball out. It's going to be a whole new ailment called Livestream balls. The old cat. What's up, nutter? Seriously considering the Lodestar for Alaska. Lodestar, like the little sort of truck scout thing. So it's definitely pretty decent. Obviously you probably need something a bit heftier to do the actual missions. Yeah, getting through here is going to be interesting. What should we talk about actually? Well, this thing certainly hasn't caught on anything so far, really. I know, like, the barrier and that, but that's not really to do with, like, the trailer. If I'm going to run over a barrier, it is what it is. Some part of the trailer is going to run over it. It's the nature of gravity. Like, having a good old time. I always use flatbed. I just don't like... sideboard looks. I agree, I prefer the look of the flatbed, but yeah, I do generally go for the sideboard just for the fact that the amount of times I've tipped and it's just saved me having to get the crane out and all the rest of it. I was going to use the Hummer. Sure, I probably would use the Lodestar over the Hummer. Not that the Hummer's bad, if you'd leave the roof rack off the Hummer, unless they've fixed it since then, but without the roof rack it drives pretty normally. With the roof rack it used to be pretty bad. It slowed the Hummer down quite a lot, but again I haven't actually tried it recently if they've fixed that or not. Kenneth Russ, flush. Okay, I've seen keep a piss bottle like a real trucker. A piss bottle is for atmosphere of trucking, true. I should do it really. Just piss him on for the hell of it. I'm sure my cat will be thrilled. But he can talk, he's like a crow trucker. Got his own litter tray. Gone all out. The Hummer sucks, that's what she said. Well, missions wise, I have used it on a mission, but not for like over a year or something. Just for bombing around, flying up and down the White Valley runway and that, I did quite like it. It was one of the ones I liked in the end once I took the roof rack off. It's got the perfect, if you go onto the maps with snow, so like Northport. Where was I going as well? Where I was drifting around in it. Oh, it might have been just as you go out White Valley and then kind of follow the road back into the middle of the map. Yeah, the Hummer was just like the perfect speed where it sort of drifts quite nicely, a little bit like the CK-1500. It sort of steps the back end out a little bit, but not enough to where you just keep like oversteering until you spin round and all that. It was quite nice. Lodestar is better than the Hummer. Yeah, I'd agree with that though, definitely. The Lodestar is good. The biggest thing I like about the Lodestar is that it's got the like truck engine and gearbox, so it's got the, yeah, what I would consider is the better gearbox, faster gearbox. Disconnect. Oh, crap. So the hitbox on that trailer is like that front triangle section just has nothing there. If I can get that past, yeah, now it should just scrape along. Good one. Yeah, again, turning round, we'll see how this goes. Probably not very well. So this would be if I was like driving a truck in real life. This would be not like the biggest fear, but you know, just instantly you'd just be rolling your eyes like, oh crap. If you ended up in a place like this with a trailer this size, or just even the thought of it would make me want to just be like, nah, I'm done. I already would have wrecked something over there, a boat, a car, a wall, part of the truck, a lamppost. Well, in fact, well, it was going to work until I just flipped myself. Yeah, long story short, not the easiest trailer to turn around. So I'll just see, if you don't mind the slow pace, it wouldn't pack. Stuck. It's been forever since I've been able to view your channel. Also, first stream of months. How's everything been? Is that William Rusumano? Yeah, no, I'm good, cheers, dude. How are you doing? Oh, one thing with that trailer light, how the front bit kind of has no hitbox. It's sort of phased through the actual truck. Imagine this in real life. Sat in someone's yard waving out the window like, no, I'm good. Got it covered. This is how I always turn around. Okay, as much as I could sit here and carry on all night, we'll leave it. Trailer is now a free range trailer. What else? There was something I was going to do. I just forgot. Quickly while I remember, I'll go and rescue. Well, rescue. Not really needs rescuing. Go and recover. Land by Green Life. If you want to create a Discord server, send you the link. And when you join, I'll transfer ownership of the server to you. I appreciate it, dude. I'll say possibly, but I'd say don't worry about it yet, because it's one of those things that I need to even like look into it and see what. Yeah, I've heard of Discord before, but I've never seen a picture of it or anything. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing with it, so I sort of need to look into it a bit and actually see what's going on. But no, I appreciate it though, dude, because it's like 4 AM for me when you start, but today was lucky. Yeah, true. It's well, it's 2:30 in the morning when I start, so yeah, I certainly appreciate it's a bit of a awkward time. I say it tends to work out. It's only by accident, but it kind of fits at quite a nice time to live stream for America, I think. But obviously for people from the UK and that, it's yeah, slap bang in the middle of the night, really. Just need a bit more flex in that trailer. Load up the winch and then slingshot out the yard. True, to be honest, at some point there, the winch was just, you know, where it gets a little bit gutless and you have to keep waiting for it to build a tension. So I was like, sod it. If it was a bit more urgency going on to the winch, I'm sure eventually, the fact that I've got an autonomous winch is sit there stubborn enough for long enough, I would have been able to get that truck flip. But yeah, it was just the winch was a little bit limp amongst other things. It's not what she said. What do we got on the this map? Oh yeah, again, I could technically need to take like a generator to that place. Oh no, doing that ice watch mission, I suppose, yeah, I could do that. Oh, we already, what? No, I haven't already done it, have I? Oh, is it a contract, isn't it? It's medium logs, that's not too bad. Right, so wooden planks. That one will be pretty easy because they're at the garage. What's set up? Where do I get the logs from again? Because I could take a medium log trailer while I'm at it. Last time I ended up getting them too, so I could do with something that has a medium log trailer and then a medium log add-on thing. And something with 4 planks. So I'll take something with enough room. Sod it. I'll just set this thing up then as like a sideboard. And a ramped flatbed, we'll see how it does then. Yeah, with a ramped flatbed I suppose actually it'd be worth knowing. So I'll leave the crane off, I assume it should be fine getting a trailer now. Delphia, what's that? Sorry, I might have missed something there. Is that the name of this? It's 7:38 already, but the stream is like 2 hours long. Yeah, the stream's 2 hours long for me. Yeah, it's, well, 20 to 5 it's sort of coming up to here. Which I was a little bit late starting the stream. Well, just because it's taken so bloody long to load, to be honest. Yeah, so that's set up. Definitely gonna have to get a life, just in case. Reasons. Then I get 4 planks. And then yeah, something for logging. I don't know if this thing can't have a medium logging trailer though. The carry add-on, whatever that bloody hell it's called. Ace Games Play Network, where are you in Indiana? Near Fort Wayne. Only Loaf is skinny enough to get through there. Oh, for God's sake, game. It really does never pick the truck. Fart Wayne sounds like my jokes when I was 6. I was going to say, was it like Fort Wayne, but a typo, or if not, either way. I like it. I miss the good old jokes when you were 6. Like what you call a gay dinosaur, a Megasaurus. Can't beat the classics. What was the other one as well, I remember? What do you call a Muslim carpenter? Ahmed Mashed. Right, yeah, let's go this way. That was not too bad on the turning circle. I'm in Fort Wayne a lot. Can it go on the roof? Oh yeah, that's true. I've got a feeling it'll be a bit awkward, to be honest. I will try it, but I'll probably try it where, and then I can just edit it and show you the end results, because if the cranes weren't such a dick, it'd probably be pretty easy to do, but between the crane being a tosser to try and lift anything, and then how horrifically slow the like cargo rotation thing is, I'll like I said, I'll have to get the loaf pretty precise, where I might have to balance a wheel on like that little round exhaust bit and all sorts. This thing's definitely pretty planted. Going through here, it's one of the trucks anyway, but someone was saying to me in the comments that they like, why do I keep going this way when I could just go round? Partly I do like going that way, but it's quite a good benchmark to see. Like some vehicles tip going that way, some don't. This is I think twice I've gone up there now and it's not tipped, so it's certainly pretty well planted. Definitely better planted than that, what's it called, like the Executioner, that first truck I used. Spell check is not your friend. Like I said, spell check is no one's friend. Sabotages everybody. Can I get away with it, like just touching the back wheel? It's just wooden planks, isn't it? Yep. The medium log jet. So again, why don't they just put that yellow square like where I am now? Just have to wedge it into a corner when you know goddamn well we're going to be here with trailers and all sorts. Fart Wayne though. Megasaurus, exactly. Definitely what she said. I'd call my son Fart Wayne if I ever had one. It's a pretty good name. What did I see? Someone's username was like Dick Normus. Doesn't even make sense. And yeah, it was such a good name. Which way am I going? Is the next question. Oh yeah, do you know, actually, we'll see how it goes then across this actual road, which for whatever reason seems to be worse than going the normal way. Well, to make it simple, Discord is basically a more complex, techie version of Facebook Messenger. As if I haven't even conquered Facebook Messenger yet. I have the app, but pretty much never use it. What happened to the good old days? What happened to Snake? Nokia 3310s? Game of Monopoly. Or Frustration. What else was there? I remember playing Operation, we had that for a little while. I think we kept losing all the bones. Didn't really have anything else to operate on. Good night everyone, I can't keep my eyes open anymore, enjoyed the stream. Ace Plays Games Network, I appreciate it dude, cheers for popping in though. So yeah, again, it's just a ridiculously slow section of river for no apparent reason. Which, as you can see now, they might class this as more difficult. I'm just going to squeeze the throttle. It works out quite nicely for me, because I can just read the comments without crashing. Later Ace, what was your record in Snake on Nokia? Do you know what, I can't remember, but I got it pretty bloody big. It's definitely what she said. But I mean, back when I got, like, the Nokia, there wasn't more advanced stuff than that, so we all played the Nokia Snake games, but I was absolute prime age. I think I was about 9 or 10, and it was my real dad that got me a Nokia 3310. And on Virgin Mobile, it's like, fucking hell. Don't give me that when I'm 10. Yeah, and well, yeah, I had Snake, and I don't think I rarely, if ever, had any credit on it. I didn't get as far as, I assume like the Holy Grail for Snake is basically covering the whole screen to where you can't get any more. I didn't get that far, but I got pretty bloody close. Like, there wasn't that many more, where I just systematically kept going like up and down on the screen, just even if the dot you gotta eat is like on the other side of the screen, just had to keep wiggling up and down to fit the actual snake in. And yeah, and I died before I got like the full screen completed, but that was like that's what we were going for. She needs to take a nap in the afternoon. I'm sure I do like me naps every now and then. My sleeping pattern this week has been all over the place. One of the reasons is because the bloody cat, he gets into these patterns where I'm in bed and he just starts meowing. And he just doesn't shut up. And then he wakes me up every few hours. And then that just messes me up completely. And that's what he's decided to do this week. To the point where even considering, like, because he's paranoid of everybody except me, he's even considering getting my mum's voice on a tape recorder, just so when he starts meowing, if I play her voice, he might run off. Not run off, but you know what I mean. Just generally not roam around the house. They're doing like some emergency police siren meow. It's right loud bastard as well. It literally had Snake and Bull. Oh yeah, well, Bull, I remember that on that was the phone that I had. It was probably the third phone. The first phone I had was a Nokia 3310. The second one, it was a Nokia 50 something, and it was like a waterproof kind of phone. It had like an eggshell, like a Kinder Surprise eggshell case. So you opened it like the top and the bottom, not the front and the back. And yeah, that was the one I dropped in the toilet, and then I was pissing on it because I was very drunk. That was the last thing my friend heard. And then I kind of borrowed his phone, but it just ended up becoming my phone, which was a Nokia something that had like a square phone, but then the bottom where the buttons were was all like curved and round. And yeah, I had that for years. And I think, yeah, it was that one. That's the one that I had to start up with a key. And then eventually that just got to the point where it completely died. Around that time I was with that bird whose mum was eyeballing me. And then, yeah, then I got the iPhone 4, which again, I got that in August 2011. So it's over 10 years old now, and it's here somewhere on my sofa. And it's here tonight. Tonight, Matthew, it's going to be a Nokia. Yeah. And then I got my iPhone 7 about 3, 4, or maybe 5 years ago now, actually. And again, I've been looking at, recently, I've switched to another charge cable on my phone. Again, it's slower to charge, but it's like less erratic. Because when I start replying to people on messages, I can be on like 80% charge, which is rare enough anyway these days, but it would drop down like 20% in no time, because I normally have to unplug the charger when I reply to messages, otherwise it just keeps cock-blocking the screen and that bloody accessory not accepted. But yeah, generally speaking, I could seriously do with either swapping the battery or just getting a new phone. My memory's kind of full on this phone as well. I can delete loads of pictures, but I kind of like leaving the pictures as just like, instead of having a memory, it's just easier to have a phone with pictures. And then that remembers for me what I was up to. I had some sort of Nokia, orange and indestructible. I just remember they were indestructible. We did used to literally play like, not football, but I suppose like some stupid version of American football. With my Nokia and all sorts, I used to get kicked, thrown. It was just, the thing was an absolute solid rock. Like, its reputation was legit. And when I eventually got rid of the phone, do you know what? I might even still have the Nokia if it, like, God knows where in some box buried. I'm a bit of a hoarder. I don't like to throw stuff if I can help it. Obviously, I'll throw stuff like that I don't need, but you know, just old stuff like, yeah, an old phone or something, I hoard that shit for life. One day, when I die, they'll be like, Jesus Christ, this guy's sitting on a gold mine of, like, old Nintendo games and all sorts of random shit. Rebel by choice, brother. Bro, lol. How old will we be? Yeah, sorry, I seen yeah, is it Rebel 58? It soon flies by. I know that. Do you know what? I don't like how quick this year is flying by already. I can't, because it's all, isn't it like the end of January now? Yeah, fucking hell, the 30th of January. When you think we're already like, there's 1 month gone already. Those old Nokias were more resilient than the Loafs. Certainly the same ballpark. I don't know if I could officially give the Nokia that that kind of street cred. It might have been made from Loafs. That would make a lot of sense. But yeah, they were ridiculously indestructible. To the point where, like I said, you get companies that then do something called planned obsolescence, where they sort of purposely make things that will break after 5 or 10 years, so you have to get it again. And I don't know if iPhone do that, but I can say that my iPhone 4 is still working, and it is officially over 10 years old, and it is still on its original battery. And yeah, my iPhone 7 is about 5 years old now. I think I got it in May 2017, so yeah, in this May it's like 5 years old. And again, the battery is pretty crap at the minute, I will admit that, but it's still working and it's all been doing fine and everything if I did get a new battery for it. That's one big fault I would say with like iPhones and that in general, is how much of a twat the battery is to replace. Like compared to the old Nokias where you just take the back cover off, pull the battery out in half a second and swap it for a new one. Yeah, sorry, I've seen someone say they're going to be 17, so happy birthday for that. This year I'm going to be 21. Be good to be 21 again. So I could just see my grandson then. So happy birthday to us. Yeah, happy birthday to both. Oh, wait, yeah, sorry, to both of you. I could get some logs from there, and then raid the other two from there. That's not too bad then. Maybe great grandson. But true, it's funny when you think, like when you're a kid, you imagine like grandparents of like at least 60 years old. But when you think about it, people could be grandparents like in their 30s pretty easily. I'll have a pint for you. I'll have a coffee for you. To be honest, I should get some beers at some point. Every now and then, rarely. I could do with a beer, but I've got a massive bottle of champagne in my fridge. It cost me £3. It was like the world's cheapest bottle of champagne I got from, I can't remember. Well, I sort of get, it's like some clearance store. But you're not allowed, you have to have like a pass to go in, and my brother had one. Or yeah, or vodka with those little gold flakes floating around. So yeah, I kind of need something I could have a beer, not kind of naught to rat ass in 5 seconds. No, I'm too old to be great grandson. My grandparents are 70, 72 now. Still spring chickens. At least. When I was born they were 50 plus. My granddad, well downstairs, I think he's 86 now. My grandma, as in my real dad's mum, she's probably like 88 to 90, but her mum didn't die until she was like 98. It's one of them in my family. One side of my family seems to live like, talking 90s to 100s. But yeah, my dad obviously died racing, so I don't know. Either way, he didn't make it to old age, so I don't really get any clues from that one. And then like my brothers though, obviously they got a different dad. One side of their family, long life, one side heart attacks. I don't seem to have that on my side of the family going on, touch wood. But I also have insomnia pretty bad, and yeah, a lot of people die from lack of sleep by a heart attack, so we'll see. It's going to happen one day, preferably in like 50 years from now, but who knows. There was somebody who actually got killed by a meteorite that hit them. Which might have been on that 1,000 Ways to Die or something, but if that's true, imagine how unlucky that is. Well, you know when you see like a landslide, say in America, there'll be like some big cliffs and a big rock will go down and hit a car and kill the person. And it's like, that rock was probably sat there for millions of years. That rock might have even seen dinosaurs, just waiting one day for cars to be invented and for some poor sod to be driving past, and then bang. What's up, noisy sod? Say, that's what my cat. Well, he's normally louder than that. That's pretty much what he does. Stand on the stairs, meowing like a tit. Right, what vehicle do I want? I preferably could do one that I can have a medium log carrier thing. Might even have to get the old dolphin out. That's sad. My parents are 88. Ever noticed that LOL looks like someone drowning? I used to think LOL originally was, I thought it was a person, like with their hands up in the air or something, not necessarily as in like, you know, this is a stick up, but that's what I used to think it would be. I used to not like LOL, but it just makes sense as in like certain messages that you send to people. Oi! Shut up! Right, noisy sod. Yeah, like you can read messages in certain ways where it's like, sometimes putting a lol just, now they definitely can't take it as you said it seriously, if you know what I mean. It does, like, there's certain messages where you could read it back and be like, oh, that that sounds way worse than it sort of did when I said it. But if you put a lol on there, it kind of clarifies the situation. I wonder, in fact, can this thing have a medium log carrier? I kind of doubt it, but you never know. It's got some log related things. Short, medium, oh no. Just for a second, it teased me. No. What else have we got then? My grandpa on my dad's side died on my birthday. Ah, that's yeah, sad to hear. It's not good when it happens like that. Did he at least get to like a good old age though? At least it sort of helps a bit when it's like old age. Sod it. Can this have a medium log thing? Add-on for carrying logs, but it doesn't specify. In that case, I'm probably just going to have to risk it. Well, at least this thing's pretty quick, so I'm gonna guess it should be medium logs, because I think it's had this for a while, whereas the short logs have only really been added. Wasn't it this phase that they added them? Rebel by choice and Megasaurus. Oh, it's dog. Gay dinosaur's dog. Megasaurus Rex. There's a medium logging trailer. Small logs. Oh yeah, because I put a different... well, I've got the Foxes mod as well. Blue line, no. Just a normal one, please. Log trailer. Yeah, they look about the same. Well, we'll find out. LOL is inverted cock. It's true. Here he is. What are you doing, noisy bollocks? Yes. He died from a serious heart attack at 66. I tried to give him CPR for 15 minutes. Yeah, that's. I'm sorry to hear that. That's definitely not good. 66 is bloody young as well. Must admit, definitely, I wouldn't like that shit. When my mum's mate died from well, she had cancer, but technically she was kind of in remission, but then she'd had tubes stuck down her throat and all sorts, and she was coughing one night, and I think she literally like coughed to the point where it split her throat open or something, and then she started, yeah, coughing up blood, and it was like her kids were there, and it sounded fucking horrific. I definitely would not want to be in that kind of situation. I winched the Forester with a mod, a medium, log trailer behind another truck worked out pretty well. Yeah, that's true. I've not used the Forester a hell of a lot. I wanted to. I even still need to get round to doing the bloody review of the Forester, but it's so horrifically slow. I just... Well, one, I'll be honest, I'm not that desperate to get round to the review of it, but the fact that it's so slow, I know that it'll take bloody ages to get the footage for it. So I kind of need a night where I've actually got a full fat night to, yeah, get all the footage, and the editing will no doubt be a tosser, because when it's the slow vehicles, I have to cut out a lot of bits in between, so then it makes the amount of edits a lot more, and then I have to render the video just to... Otherwise I'd run out of editing slots, and it'll, yeah... kind of like a chain reaction. So it ends up taking a lot longer, whereas the quick vehicles are just quick enough. I can... Alright, there's less editing, and it's way quicker to do a quick vehicle. Dude, that's hard to imagine. Really sorry to hear that. Yeah, definitely. That is just... There's nothing good to be said about that, really. So it's like when my dad died. Some people are like, "Oh, it sounds bad," because like say he hit a wall at like 180 odd on the bike, and then the bike hit him just afterwards. But it's like, when you think about it, it's about the best way possible to go, because yeah, it's going to be pretty much instant lights out, done. Probably look pretty like messy or whatever, but as far as like paint wise, it should have been pretty damn instant. I don't know, now I'm thinking that it could be medium logs, short logs, we'll see. It doesn't really matter either way, because I think there's log things nearby. Worst case, I can get away with it with just the trailer. I should have, if it is a short log thing, I could have stuck a loaf in there instead, really. Auto, 4 out of 4. Well, I must have a different gearbox on this. I wonder if I've even done it up, to be honest. Or are they the tyres that come originally on it, or... I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty certain it normally has more gears than that. In the setup I have it in, anyway. Yeah, I said the other day about that, is that I seen it in that film Fargo. Someone was saying, is it Paul Bunyan or something? Isn't that like some famous... I've seen a little, not a cartoon clip, but something like that. I've not really heard of him over here, but I assume that's like a pretty famous person in America. Chad Morris, I enjoy your vids. I appreciate it, dude. I'd say it'd be nice if they're a little bit quicker with the between the phases to kind of keep the content going, but it is what it is. I was working it out earlier, to be honest. We got this phase, was it on about the 9th of December? So it's looking at ballpark 3 months per phase, so we're probably talking around the 9th of February. Was it? Yeah. December, January, February. Oh no, March, sorry, March. Yeah, so we're probably still talking a good 5 weeks before we get the next phase. Oh yeah, daytime, that's what's going to change. It's because you're Chad. We were about to have some dinner, and all of a sudden he was on the floor. It was pretty shitty birthday, yeah, I imagine. It's one of them, and it just comes out of nowhere. Yeah, it's definitely, certain things in life are pretty shit. There's not really a lot you can do about them either. And what's worse, unlike the old fairy tales, it's never the case where it's like good people have good endings and bad people have bad endings. You've got complete scumbags that have live lives of luxury and get to old age and all sorts, and then yeah, you've got good people that have all kinds of bad shit happen. This is definitely another section, not that I really mind, because again it's only a tiny little patch, but no amount of truck and power seems to get you through that section. just had an automatic go slow mode. Alright, we're about to find out. Oh, hey. Sticks out quite far, that's what she said. Not sure how happy it's going to be about another set of logs in the medium log trailer, but we'll find out. Oh, thing actually, when you pack the medium log trailer, doesn't it end up having like a metal grate on the front that kind of sits flush? So I think it should fit. Oh shit, was that on the back? I can't remember. We'll find out either way. Worst case, it's going to freak out. I wish non-Russian vehicles were better, specifically American trucks. I wish they'd add finally like mud tyres and stuff to, yeah, just to kind of make it a little bit more even across the board. Lol, yes, I'm a Chad. Exactly. Can't imagine a worse birthday than that, no. Same here. For the most part, I've had pretty uneventful birthdays in comparison. Well, like I said, the only one, but I can't really remember it, was... Well, I can actually, was the... Freddie Mercury died on my 3rd birthday. And I do have a genuine memory of pacing around waiting to cut a cake that was a Thomas the Tank Engine cake. But my mum was watching the news because Freddie Mercury had died. I think it was when they'd said he'd died of AIDS, and it's funny, I said this to my mum like a few months ago, because she said something along the lines of like about Freddie Mercury when he came, and she's like, oh, I can't believe he was gay. It was like, how the fuck did you not realise he was gay? Dressing up as a woman and that, singing songs like I Want to Break Free, whilst dressed as a housewife, hoovering and all sorts, like. But then she said, which was true, like, you look at a lot of the 80s rock bands back then, they were all dressing in like sort of leotards, and I kind of get what she meant. Like, there was a lot of rock bands that were dressing quite sort of girly and everything, or what would look sort of more girly today, but then it was just sort of kind of the style back then. But yeah, I kind of feel like even as a kid I knew Freddie Mercury was gay. It was pretty bloody obvious. American are good, but they get crap fuel or add-ons. True, I think it's there is a little bit of Russian bias going on in this game. They definitely seem to get like the better share of just things in general, for the most part. Who's up here? I've got to bring them in it. Yeah, good. Probably a bad time to check when I'm 9/10 of the way. Might have to jump off there at some point. That's better. Some proper noise on the horn. That's one thing I do like about this iceberg that Fox has done, where it's still got a bit of the articulation. So you can still wiggle it sort of side to side, but then it has also got the steering and the rear steer. It's kind of like the best of all three worlds. Freddie was amazing. Oh no, it's this way. So it's still got a nice tight turning circle. If you actually like feather the throttle and let it go round. But yeah, in general, I quite like the articulation, but in this game, I don't know, they just don't give it enough like power to fight against like gravity and all sorts. But the fact that this has got like a bit of articulation, but will still steer anyway, it sort of works out pretty nicely. Russian trucks are better to compensate Russia itself. Yeah, no, I would agree. I said it a little while ago that, like, I remember someone said to me a while ago back when I was playing MudRunner that in Russia, like, instead of building roads to various places, they just build trucks that don't need roads. And it was kind of, yeah, what he was saying made like a lot of sense. So yeah, I sort of do agree in general. Like, there's an old sort of joke that yeah, you don't land invade Russia, because like I said a while ago, I remember when ISIS said that they were going to invade Russia, and And like the entire world in unison just laughed. Like, yeah, good luck with that, mate. You spend your life in a 40-degree desert. You ain't gonna last 2 seconds in Russia. In-game articulated vehicles have underpowered steering. Yeah, big time. That's what sort of kills it for them. But like I said, for one, I think Fox is like the articulation. Yeah, the fact that it's still flexing, no problem sat here. But then as it has got the steering on top as well and the rear steer, it's like even if that became an issue, it can still steer. But they really do need to increase the strength of it. But the only cars Russia can make are trucks. Well, I'd say true for the most part. Well, like I said, as a kid, we had a Russian, Lada Samara for years, to be honest. Trying to think how old I was when we got it. Got to be pretty young though. Must have been like 6 or 8 or something like that when we got it. And then I think we got rid of it when we'd moved up north by then. So I must have been 14 odd. So yeah, I probably had it like 6 to 8 years. Like I say, it was a beast because it was a Russian vehicle. Like our winters were like a nice spring summer's day to it, so things started every time, got through every little patch of snow, which was quite a lot of snow for England, but again, the thing was used to climbing around Russia, so yeah, it was a beast. I'd happily have that car again. And as I said, because it was Russian, it was like, that was back in the 90s when people were stealing head units out of cars left, right and centre. No one's stealing a Russian head unit. You didn't need a fake head unit. People would just look and be like, oh hell no. Wouldn't even know how to wire that thing. And that was it. Not to mention that the glass wouldn't surprise me if it was about an inch thick. You don't mess with Russia, they have some crazy stuff in technology. Yeah, exactly. I like Russia though. In general, I think it's pretty good. They have got a lot of good shit. Yeah, Russia and America, you got a lot of good toys. I like looking at. You have to like when you see YouTube videos of. You got to admit, it must be pretty cool if you're in charge of an army like that. And you're just like, right, whip out like the A-10 Warthogs and the Abrams tanks and this and that, and then you got like the Osama bin Laden mission. Just nip off to your Area 51 secret little garage, whip out like some kind of new stealth Black Hawk helicopter and all sorts. It's got to be pretty fun. You know, if there was like, if morals didn't matter one little bit, kind of like the Grand Theft Auto version but in real life, where you just get to be a complete maniac but with the world's coolest equipment. Wolf, maybe Macat. What's Macat can get a deal on a goddamn professional. Sounds good to me. Again, I genuinely intend to get a goddamn horse for a vehicle one day. I would like one. And it'd be perfect because, like I said, a little van. It ain't gonna be that dear or anything anyway. And engine swap wise, you could do all sorts with it. It'd be funny to put a V8 in one, but I don't know if a V8 would suit it. If not, I might have to go like Japanese, like a 2JZ engine or whatever it is, isn't it? Or like an old RB26 from the Skyline. Something, well, I don't know, I mean, that's probably like a bit of a fat engine. They do that in the Ariel Atom. Sure, it's got like quite a small 3-litre V8 in it. Something like that would probably be pretty funny. Either that or a turbo. Like a turbo loaf would be pretty interesting. Nobody likes their political people anymore. Yeah, it's a mess everywhere. I like to take the piss out of all of them. But they're, yeah, it's all it's all a bit of a shit show. Right, that's that done. So now stop that, change to that. Go back to the daytime. What mission? Oh yeah, Ice Watch. Right, so that garage, that's not too bad. Fuel, yep. Oh, and the vehicle spare part, that's alright. be pretty easy then. Question is, do I just cut across there? There's not really much gain to it though, to be honest. Well, I could try it though. Famous last words, let's see how it goes. America has trucks and V8. Ooh. Sorry, I jumped. Goddamn professional. Chad Morris, people in America have trucks that they use for the car. Where'd it go? Sorry, comment jump, but I've seen Macap. Oh, is that what you, when you said Macap? Sorry. I got confused there. You should put a 5.9 Cummins in a goddamn professional, so every time you breathe on the gas pedal, you twist the drive shaft. I was going to say I'd probably use like a solid prop shaft for that one. Rebel by choice. Yeah, scout vehicle. Goddamn professional. It certainly is. Good to have him back. Yeah, this truck, not only it's got a nice pace, it just looks nice. The way it climbs over all the terrain like that. It's just, yeah, it's a good vehicle to drive. Doesn't help towing an official anchor behind us, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, I got the goddamn professional abbreviation. It's true. Saves a bit of time, GDP. Because at first I was like, what, gross domestic product? And then it's like, oh yeah, goddamn professional. I mean, back when I first did this video, it'll be in one of the comment sections somewhere. Someone said, hey, IMLW, and I was like, what the hell is that? Even like my mum was around, because again, she's caring of my granddad downstairs and that, and I was like, what the hell is IMLW? And she was like, yeah, I don't have a clue. And I even messaged them, like, what does that mean? And they were like, it's Mr. Lone Wolf. It's like, oh yeah, shit. It was my own channel name, and I didn't even twig. Oh, well, we'll just go this way now. To there. That's what I know where I am from that. It would be much cheaper than transportation from Russia. What's that horse? Oh, like goddamn professional. Oh, you don't see you're American. Is that the 5.9 litre Cummins? How cold is it in Russia right now? Probably bloody cold. How cold is it here? Let's have a look. Is my phone, oh my god, actually held some charge. Sorry, I'm just seeing quickly what temperature it is here. 2 degrees apparently. Which, yeah, that's probably not that bad considering. It's definitely been going minus for like the last couple of days. Well, yeah, probably more than a couple of days actually, probably like last week or two. Little tracks going off down there. I wonder if you can cut over. It seems like a bit of bait. Don't know if I should take it or not. Well, I'm going to end up on the beach. Worst case, a bit of a rally over time. Let's have a look. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, it's probably might be a little bit deep going this way. Yep. Stick that in reverse pretty quickly. Out of curiosity, actually. I assume that tube thing on the back is the snorkel, so it can go pretty deep. That's what she said, of course. Yeah. Okay, I'm dropping the hammer. Worst case, we'll have to zombie winch. Uh oh. We might have to zombie winch. We're definitely going to have to zombie winch. Well, the good news is, ladies, it goes deeper. Not even sure if the zombie winch is going to before we get a zombie win. It's not even offering me win point. Ah, there we go. Giddy up, bitch. Oh, I'm in reverse. Oh, well, I fucked that up completely. I was in reverse, so the truck would have been trying to reverse the entire time. So next question, could we get something to rescue it from the other side? Okay, we've got that there. All the iceberg. Have I got the snorkels on the iceberg? No. God damn it. What have I got on the Goliath? Let's go with this one. We'll see. My truck does cast up sometimes. Maybe that feels better. Load off my chest. I'm waiting for big snow so I can take my ATVs and my Wrangler out. I do like a bit of snow. Looks a bit deep. It certainly went a hell of a lot deeper than I was expecting. It's of course what we said. But for a minute there it looked like it was alright. Like I'll probably take a little bit of damage, but I should make it through the side. But yeah, it doubles down, it gets double deep. But we'll see, just for the a bit of messing around. Worst case, I think in the iceberg, I assume I could reach the ramped flatbed and just pull it back out the way it went in. I'm not going to say it, but I could. Last summer was deadly. It was 38 degrees here, and it was a record for St. Petersburg weather recordings. Yeah, 38 sounds pretty toasty. Yeah, like a foot of snow. Yeah, same here to be honest. We haven't had a good old night. I think it was 1997 when I was a kid. Around my birthday it snowed and we had like easily a good foot to 2 foot of snow. To the point we could, like in the garden we were building like little tunnels in the snow and had like, not an igloo but kind of dug out a big hole and had a roof on it and all sorts. It was pretty cool. But yeah, not had good snow like that since. We just get like an inch or two and then the whole country grinds to a halt as if we got a foot or two. I've got a Chevy Silverado, so the transmission turns to dust when you tow anything. I go to Off-Road Park about an hour from me. There's 120 acres, yeah, it sounds pretty good. It's one thing we don't have as much of in England, where, you know, just random patches of land that no one in particular owns or gives a shit about. Which, to be fair, I can't even really blame it on like the size of England, because in the Isle of Man they've got even a place there. It's called the Deads, I think they call it. Maybe someone owns the land, but I don't think anyone really gives a shit, and people just go there off-roading all the time. In fact, let's try it this way, because I've never actually been down here. We'll see what happens. Oh yeah, shit. It's nice that the gearbox is back to normal. Snowbanks up to 6 foot in Winnipeg, or about 2 meters. Yeah, that's more like it. Winterpeg. No thanks, Aussie Alberta. Chinook strips are snow here. What year is Silverado? I like it when it gets to around 31 degrees C. Over here, I think I kind of like it about 27, 28 is pretty nice usually. If it was going to be, say, 30, as long as there was a little bit more of a breeze in the air. But again, because it gets, like, or can get quite humid here when it's hot, yeah. You can certainly feel it when it's like 30 odd degrees. Not sure if it's going to be able to reach. Well, it should. thought about it. I saw it flash a winch point for a second. If not, I could go down there and try it. Ooh. Been a bit harsh because the winch is technically getting there, but it's just being a dick about it. Let's see if a bit of current will move me along. Oh no, yeah, change. Oh, Lowe's gonna jump out. He'll get himself to safety. There's an island down there. But I would like to get this out. So that's technically... So if I could move that a little bit closer then. It's a little bit. a little bit closer than I planned. Oh, I could just not being a dick with the winches. Just grab a tree that isn't going to budge. There we go. Normal day of loafing. It's normally what gets edited out. Right. Not there. Please stop, you son of a bitch. I don't trust it. Right, just stay. Still being a dick, I can see it flashing the winch point up and then it goes. Just waiting for the current to move me a little bit. Come on, game. It looks like I've actually started floating a little bit there. I don't know if that's because of the trailer or not. And oh no, not the iceberg. Goddamn sons of bitches. Wolf, there is an aquatic truck mod if you need a boat. Might have to get to that point. We're still all good. Well, for now, we'll see. Okay, I'll do when that drops off then. Again, just being a dick now, the winch thing can reach to the back of the trailer. Yep. I wonder if it's floating or if I'm just on... Oh, was it because... I might have been on the loaf, you know. I reckon I was. What a goddamn professional. He actually levered me out the water. Which was enough to start my engine. I think it's driving a little bit. I don't know, the winches are just being a dick. It's literally, like, you can see it can reach the truck. It's just refusing to try this gear. Now have your chance. Old-fashioned way. It's not my first time. I had to raft my way out of the situation. Yeah, let's get some better daylight. But it's definitely a bit of a shame about the winches. I would have liked to have kind of, yeah, been able to pull myself across the river. Would have been pretty cool. I'm buying a truck in 2 years once my Wrangler's paid off. What truck are you thinking of getting? I think I'd like to, in the next couple of years, I'd like to get a PC sorted, something like that. And then, car-wise, a loaf would be pretty damn cool. So I'd like to get one of them. And then, preferably as well, my M-Tech 1 that I've got. That'd be pretty nice to get that. Some kind of restored. Having a loaf and an M-Tech 1 would be pretty cool. Hang on, I'm gonna say, it's a goddamn horse. Don't leave home without him. Well, long story short, don't use that shortcut. Well, quote unquote shortcut. About the longest shortcut you ever did see. Yeah. So the chin is pretty handy because that's definitely a pretty fat awkward rock to say the least. Again, loaf. Back on them wheels. See? He listens. He's nothing if not a goddamn professional. And he's totally stopped when he's 210,000 miles. What did I hear? Someone told me about a car the other day. It was like a 1.2 litre and it had something like 600,000 miles. Yeah, 600,000 miles on it. How the hell has that engine not gone bang? God knows what they've been using, like what oil they use, like Formula 1 engine oil or something. Because as a rough guide, I always think like whatever litre I know there is exceptions to this definitely, and this is just a ballpark figure, but if you've got a 2 litre car, I kind of think they're good for 200,000 miles. 1.2 I'd kind of consider 120,000 miles. My first car, an Escort, was a 1.4, and I think when I got it, it had 130 on it, so it probably had another 10,000 miles in it. And again, if it's looked after well, you can get more out of it and blah blah blah, but yeah, just as a rough figure, that's what I kind of call it. And yeah, but this, whoever it was, had like 1.2 litre with 600,000. Got themselves like 5 times more out of it. 210k from 05 is pretty decent. Lots of life on it taken care of. The thing is, in America, you can obviously put miles on them pretty easily, but I assume a lot of them are fairly kind of kind miles to the vehicle compared, like over here. Obviously, if you're going up and down the motorway, you get like people over here say, "Oh, it's just motorway miles." If you're going around all the villages and all sorts, yeah, it's probably going to be adding like that many miles onto a vehicle if you like weaving up and down country roads and all that. Probably adds a bit more wear and tear to the situation. Diesel engine manufacturer, Duramax is Chevy branding for its diesel. Oh, is that? I've heard of that, like, heard of obviously Chevy, but I always hear that Duramax thing. 3,500 anecdotes. Oh, sorry, it was the Cummins. It's a different story. Again, I kind of know, well, no, I've heard of the basics of, like, a lot of American vehicles, but I'm not that clued up on, like, specific specs and all the rest of it. Tree again, isn't it? Loaf, I mean, he's a goddamn professional. You just seen him roll to the side like a trained pro just to avoid that tree. Now he's back on his wheels. Explain that. It's only so many times before it's beyond coincidence. He was just officially a goddamn professional. Don't know why I went the most awkward way possible, but why not? Ford power. Less stroke. To be honest, don't bother me what engine. I'm trying to think of cars with a bad engine. Well, yeah, bloody hell, Peugeot. Do not get yourself a Peugeot. Since that one died on the well, not motorway, an A road. What do I need? Fuel. Oh yeah, service spare parts. Well, I'm going to have to use the trailer anyway, I suppose, am I? I mean, is it big service spare parts? Oh no, yeah, sorry, vehicle. Using your marbles. It's the one. Alright. Damn line. See? It worked. Haven't some old Toyotas got up to 1 million miles? It wouldn't surprise me. I remember reading years ago about some guy in India that had a truck that I think was... It might have been in kilometres, but I think it had gone round the clock more than once, so obviously over 1 million kilometres. But he might have been up to like 2 points, I mean, he might have gone round the clock twice, or maybe even more. I don't blame him. It certainly looked like it had been round the clock more than once. It wasn't exactly a brand new vehicle, but if it does the job, good for them. Like I said, I've not been to Isle of Man for a couple of years now, but back when I first went there, like 15 odd years ago, every now and then you'd see an absolute snotter of a vehicle driving around just because there was no MOTs or anything, so, which is like being over here, you got to have an MOT every year to sort of make your vehicle roadworthy, but I'm going to risk it down here, hopefully the trailer, in fact yeah, the load might act as like drag, so the trailer doesn't tip. About to find out. Who's going to do it, trailer? He works like a goddamn professional. See what I mean? Everything you just want your loaf to do, he does. Never lets you down. Yeah, so you'd see some snotters driving around that were seriously shouldn't have been anywhere near the road. Well, not that I can. Not that I'd be the one to ban them from it. Yeah, definitely. I like this truck a lot. I like the fact that even though it's a good truck, it's just like the look of it and the sort of 4-axle, 8-wheel drive, kind of like a Dolphin-ish type truck. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Isuzu have been in a few of them. I've seen did someone say Fiat as well? Is that like a bad engine? I've not had, I don't know if I've ever had a Fiat, you know? I've certainly known people who have, I've been in them and all that, but I don't think I've ever owned one. We had a Toyota van that ran to like, was that 800,000? That was sold to someone. Plenty of life out of it. Some of the old Toyotas, though, like the old Hiluxes, are kind of certainly famous now since Top Gear for being practically indestructible. Which, to be fair, they kind of were. I remember as a kid, like every farmer pretty much had a, well, that probably wasn't that old back then, but yeah, Toyota Hilux, and you still see them every now and then on farms going around. They might have like the rear arches rotted out and all sorts, but they're still ticking along. I drove, yeah, a Hilux once. I was in the Alabama and it ran that sheep over. Still to this day. So I wish I could transfer the video of what happened to screen. This sheep did the most epic dive out the way. As we come flying over this hill. It was honestly like something out of a cartoon levels of like a sheep hero dive out the way so I didn't run it over. Which was good because it really wouldn't have gone that well if I'd run it over. I swear I could like see the the look of surprise on its face. It was hilarious. Well, it was like, it was a little bit at the time like, oh shit, because the guy we were working, well I was working for that fucking maniac that ran into a bin and made that go flying over someone's house and all sorts of shit. He was just a little bit deranged. But yeah, the guy we were actually working for, like, who had employed him, thus employed us, was a little bit, I don't know, not the joking type, so if I broke the front of his Hilux with one of his sheep, I don't know if he would have been too impressed. Hilux is knockier among the cars. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Certainly the old ones, anyway. There's a lot of, say, car manufacturer reputations from back 20, 30 years ago that are sort of the complete opposite now, maybe. For good and bad. Like, for example, the Italian cars, yeah, Fiat and Alfa Romeo were kind of always renowned for having bad electrical problems back in the day. But these days, I don't know. They could be amazing. But it's all kind of, I don't know, conglomerate corporations all joined together and all sorts. They all share, like, the same wiring loom and all this and that. So, like I said, it's not really... I don't know, it's not as individual as it used to be, it's all just kind of printed off a production line and that's about it. Yeah, Hilux, again, a Hilux, I'd certainly have one of them as well, I wouldn't say no to one of them. I think the, one thing I will say, I think America's got the right idea in some respects. You seem to be a big fan of your pickup trucks. You don't really have that many over here, again, except for farmers and stuff, but generally speaking, I'm sure there are people driving around in pickups that don't have a farm or whatever, but yeah, I think you guys seem to have just embraced the pickup truck pretty wholeheartedly. This thing doesn't even whinge a lot as well in high gear, just while I remember to mention it. Again, yeah, pretty nice steering angle. Good enough anyway. Done. And done. Oh, we still got some... Oh yeah, shit, we have, haven't we? I know what it is. Just gonna risk it. Took it like a boss. Say it was close to loaf trained, but can't be a goddamn professional. But it was a good effort. The fact that it's got an autonomous winch. I have no regrets. Sure about the pants of the driver, but not my problem. It's not my laundry bill. With the old Tacoma, was there a frame? They have a square tube for stiffness that hold a lot of dirt and moisture. Tacoma, I've heard of them. Oh, crap, see what I mean? Because of the bloody slow gear. Keep getting out reverse and then I'm still in it. I have to go, this view. Hit that. Oh no. The one problem about a massive winch is the million winch points you gotta go through. All in all, I don't know if this is going to be much of a time-saving way in the end. In America, they don't drive trucks. They don't use for work. For God's sake, game, just let me out. Before you kill that truck, then. I like the American concept of towing pickups. For God's sake. Plan B. What? How the hell did you choose main observation point? Where the hell's my iceberg? Yeah, there. of Stevie Wonder's driving school. It was pretty good while it lasted, but those trees, too much of an awkward pain in the arse. One thing, it'd be nice to have a garage on this map, and it would have been easy to hit recover, but yeah, and it will make me load up bloody lowlands or whatever it's called. Aussie man, do I tell a lie, chat? Why, what does that mean? Guys, I'm definitely not a Ford fan. I'm trying to think, well, I can't think of it with the same for a lot of manufacturers. Like, a lot of the new stuff doesn't really, I'm not that bothered either way. But a lot of the old stuff, like Fords, there's quite a few Fords I do like from back in the day. Like, you had Ford SAS Court Cosworth, Sierra Cosworth, those Ford Mustang. Yeah, just all sorts of stuff like that. We had was it a Ford Sierra or a Granada or something like that when I was a kid as well. That's what we had before the Lada. Right, service. Yeah. We'll see if there's one more little mission, but I might call it a day after that. Another few ticked off the box since we've got like another 5 weeks. Let's stretch it out a bit. That's what she said, of course. What do you think it takes for the game to acquire official licenses for trucks by the brands of Azov, Boron and Tega? I don't know, but it's probably just in general more hassle than it's worth. I remember somebody, I don't know, like, I can't confirm this myself as such, but I kind of believe what they were saying. They said trying to get trademarks with Russian stuff is just an absolute nightmare because of the way it used to be back in the day, probably partly due to like communism and the way it, like, convoluted way it kind of goes through the system and has to involve everyone and all sorts. And someone was just saying, yeah, trying to get the copyright rights to find the right company, the person that can okay it, that doesn't have to go and find another person that has to agree with them to okay it, and I think it's just a lot more hassle than it's worth. I think, say with American brands, they're a lot more open to the concept, like say Chevrolet is probably a lot more open to the concept that a gaming company might want to buy the rights to one of their vehicles, whereas say like UAZ or whatever it is in Russia, those sorts of companies are probably, I just don't think they're less, I don't think they're as kind of up to speed on the whole concept of it. And that's what somebody was saying, that's why in the end this game just makes like a fake named version of it, because it's just the hassle of trying to secure the rights is just not even worth the effort. Which again, I got what they were saying, I reckon they're probably right to a degree. First you drive up a tree and then you flip. What, me? It does sound like something I would do. Rubles, lots of rubles. Did you see the dump truck in the mod browser? I did, to be honest. It was the only reason I didn't get it is I ran out of memory for this time. I couldn't fit. Once I did the Goliath takes a fair chunk of memory, and the Executioner as well. Now I've tried that Executioner. It's fine. Again, it's a pretty cool truck. In fact, I might have one last little look at it in a minute. But it's definitely sort of, I wouldn't say a gimmick. It's too good. It's not like just a pure gimmick, but it's a little bit. Yeah, that Goliath is definitely a lot better, more suited, makes more sense in the game. Can go sort of more places and all that. I'm just going to mute this. It might need to cough. And we're back. It sounds all quiet to me, but someone said last time when I mute it, it's like and all sorts, which I could imagine. I see it's all the bureaucracy, isn't it? Basically, that's what I believe it is, and it's just going to be one of them where, I think trying to find the actual person that has the final say, who doesn't have to go and ask 5 of their mates and blah blah blah. I think it's all just And then you might even have to get... I don't know, but you know what I mean? Like, you might then have to get some kind of government permission, even if it's your brand that you own. You might still have to okay it with the Russian government. Like, are we okay to lend this brand out to that company? And yeah, it sounds like a bit of madness. So, is there one last little mission we can do with this? I think there is, actually. There was some kind of trailer I had to deliver, wasn't there? Got a subtle low on it. They had a pretty hard time getting the copyright for Toyota and Forza Horizon. Yeah, I could imagine. I don't really know why they're so strict about it. Because I can't really think of... Can anyone think of a game that's got a branded thing in it where if it didn't work well in the game, you'd now hate the real life version of it, if that makes sense? I can't think of any examples, whereas whether it's films and all sorts, we all remember films like, I don't know, a Trans Am, and the American Trans Am is like, I've got a soft spot for that because I watched Smokey and the Bandit as a kid. So that it's like, there doesn't really seem to be much to lose from letting your brand in some type of game or film, because whatever it is, somebody's going to be a fan of that particular game or film, and then by proxy, they're kind of automatically going to be a fan of whatever is it. It's like Starsky and Hutch. It was that a Gran Torino or something they had. I wouldn't even know the name of that if it wasn't for them, and so on and so on. Where was that again? There was... No, I'm not doing them secure containers. Nope. I'm sure I had one mission that was... Yeah. I'll go and grab that. Oh yes, Cars by Committee, the one car Soviets trying to get permission to update a car for the 70s. Did not managed it by 1987, Soviet Union. Yeah, it's definitely pretty crazy. I remember someone, I can't remember if it was Venezuela or Russia, but they said, like, explaining the difference between, say, buying a mobile phone in, say, the UK, where you go to a shop, buy a phone. And it might have been Venezuela, but they were basically saying you go to a desk and say, I want to buy a mobile phone. They'll say, alright, now you need to go to, like, the mobile phone department. They go to there, and then they're like, oh, what? Say it was like Nokia, iPhone. They're like, oh, now you need the Nokia department. And it was basically just like a convoluted way where, because it was communism, they had to employ everybody in the country. But there wasn't like enough jobs really to give everyone a job, so they'd just create 4 jobs out of 1 job by just making it an extra step. So like, oh, now you've seen me, now you got to go and see this guy. And I sort of got what they were saying, where it was like, yeah, just ended up being a bit of a mess, just for the sakes of, like, making sure everybody had a job, but it wasn't necessarily sort of the correct end result. It's just marketing. Yeah, but for the right company. I mean, well, a loaf, again, is a perfect example. I genuinely do want to buy a loaf now because of the loaf in this game. I've had that much fun with it in this game that I'd happily own one. And I know I'd enjoy it. So, whatever, yeah, UAZ company just got themselves a sale. But again, on the other side of it though, I can't think of anything where I hate the brand because I didn't like it in a film or something, if that makes sense. So I can't really think of anything where it's like, would negatively impact a brand, really. I know you get the sort of people that are like, oh, boycott this, boycott that, boycott everything, but yeah. Boycott's gonna boycott. They'll keep doing what they're doing no matter what. But the average person, I can't think of anything where it's like completely ruined the brand reputation because it was in a film or something. Justin Knight, oh, he is. Justin Lynch, good night, dude. Cheers for popping in. Oh, make that 2 cells, exactly. And, what's it, Stone Branson and his family, his gang. He's gone and got himself a goddamn horse with a vehicle. So there's at least 3 sales. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, his is like, I think he's had it resprayed, and it sounds pretty bloody good, to be honest. He's gone all out. And, yeah, so that's just the goddamn horse. Yeah, this thing big time could do with a weighted front bumper. Do you know what, after we do this mission, I'll do this mission, but I'll just quickly recover it. I want to see if it actually does have weighted front bumpers as an option. as well look in here quickly. Got a bed, super wanks. That was pretty good. Keep covering it. Make it do it. I think it's beaching a little bit on its fuel tanks. I mean, this one definitely feels, yeah, like it gets a bit unrealistic, like where it doesn't even pay attention to the laws of physics. Damaged fuel tank. Wait, one sec. Oh, that just got a really tickly throat. Look at the 88 Volga Gaz 2410 car, not been updated in 20 years. Doug Demoro reviewed it in 60s era. Sedan, it was the same Ford Taurus. At the same time, Ford Taurus. I remember watching something that was pretty funny. What plane was it? There was a years ago. There was a plane that Russian spies stole from America, like the designs for the plane, and to the point where somebody, when they were originally making the plane, I can't remember which plane it was, but say it was a Boeing or whatever, they'd accidentally drilled a rivet hole in the wrong place, and it just got left as like it never got a rivet in it. But then the plans that got stolen, like obviously, or they took like secret photos of the plane and copied it. They even put that rivet hole in it, like, and then yeah, never knew that it was like someone who accidentally did it. But yeah, they do. They seem to. Then again, if something ain't broke, don't fix it. I'd actually like to see. I was thinking about this the other day. A lot more car companies, I wish, would, you know, make a modern version, but of an old classic car. So, say Ford, you got the Ford Mustangs, Chevy. You do all like the various American stuff, and then well, even though it's like still American car brands, but over here you could have like the Ford Escorts, the Sierras, the say the BMWs, like the old E30s and E34s, E36s, even early like E21s, all that sort of stuff. I just think it'd be pretty cool because they're already like, I don't know, tried, tested looks to them and all the rest of it. I think they'd sell, but obviously today you'd have, you know, modern disc brakes on it, modern tyres, suspension, so I think there'd be like quite a lot of money in car companies doing that. I think they'd not like a massive market, but you know what I mean. The fact that they've already got the car like designs already and everything, they're not going to have to spend 500 million trying to research like designing a new wing mirror. Just make them exactly how they used to be, apart from like modern stuff though. But looks wise, don't make it look like some futuristic 2020 version of it or whatever. Just make them exactly how they used to be. I'd be interested, yeah, like an E30 BMW, like an old M3. I think they'd sell a hell of a lot of them. And because the manufacturing and all the rest of it would be fairly simple compared to cars these days, they'd I don't think they'd be like silly expensive either. Well, obviously until the fat cats in suits get involved, then it probably would be. Tickly throat, that's what she said. Exactly. Something happened. Certainly not choking off cock. Oh, it was broke, but committee could never get permission to update the piece of shit car. That's the thing, innit? And you get to a point, like, with companies like that where if people are getting paid, they're getting paid for a day's work, they don't give a shit what they get done at work, if that makes sense. I always notice that when I work at, like, places with, like, where it's a massive place and they just have management and everyone's, like, an employee number. No one gives a shit whether the company's running like a piece of shit or not. They're just, everybody tries to turn up, do as minimum as possible. Not the bottom workers, like where I was working as a picker and all that, those guys are working their bollocks off, but all the management, it was just such simple little things that's like, they really could not care less. If they spent 5 seconds of attention to their own company, they'd realise like some pretty obvious major things where they're bleeding money left, right and centre, but yeah, they're not paid to think, they're paid to turn up and tick boxes. The BMW Z8 is a pretty cool car that was based off the BMW 507. True, I'd like an old 507 would be pretty cool. But yeah, the Z8, I remember when it first came out, it was in the, not the GoldenEye films, the one after? Like the day after tomorrow, or Tomorrow Never Dies or something. Oh yeah, sure, I was supposed to go that way. Yeah, it's probably aged pretty well by now in a way. It's definitely, you don't see many of them. It'll probably be a car that one day I reckon will be worth quite a bit of money, because they're definitely pretty rare, and for whatever reason BMWs, particularly rare ones, kind of do quite well in the long run for going back up in value. Again, that's that M-Tech one I've got that I'm sat on. They only made 298 of them or something apparently, and yeah, it's like stupidly rare. If that's true, then it's rarer than a Bugatti Veyron. And yeah, that's why I'm kind of hanging on to it for dear life, get it restored one day. Which is not just for the money, I really, really like the car and the look of it and everything, but it's at least nice to know that if I do put the money into it, I could get it back out. Do you know what, I don't know what I'm stuck on. It feels like I'm sort of glitched, stuck on something rather than just beached. It feels like I'm hooking against something that's not letting me move. Oh, then again, if the suspension's dead, that's probably why. It's probably not helping the situation. It's just not letting me turn that corner. See, this is why I should have brought myself a goddamn loaf. Would have had me repaired and ready to go. Okay, just give me something. Yeah, I need to go up the ditch for this. Might as well drift out the yard. As long as they pretend to pay us, we'll pretend to work. That's pretty much it. It does get frustrating. There's two main examples. Like when I worked at that picker place, they had all broken cages we were using. It was like if they just bought new cages, we'd all be able to put in so much more work and it'd make them look better, but they just couldn't figure it out. And then I worked at that delivery company for a while where, yeah, the order they had as delivering parcels was insane. It was going from like one county to the next and then back to the same county and then back, and it was like we ended up rerouting the map ourselves to deliver all the parcels. It was like two-man delivery stuff, so it was like bathroom units and all that sort of shit. And yeah, 83%, 87% was the amount of journey distance we used to save every day, and we ended up going from, the average person there a day was delivering 7 parcels, and we ended up getting up to like 28 a day just because we rerouted it. And then yeah, common sense. And there was about 8 people in the office. It was one of them places where the actual, whoever ran that company, DX is called, big fucking parcel company, these people were just, they knew full well, like there was about 8 of them in the office, they barely did a person's work between all 8 of them, but they're all onto a good thing where it's like, well, you know, we're paid to sit here and do fuck all day. And yeah, they were just so terrible at their job that it was annoying, to where it's like, I'm not even trying to make you be good at your job or be productive, but they were moaning about when we rerouted this thing, and then like we wanted to just get signatures on paper instead of using this stupid computer that they had that always broke and crashed every 2 seconds. And they'd whinge about that, all because if we didn't get it signed on paper, they had to type the person's name into the computer, which was the only thing they had to do all day long. And they'd sit and piss and moan about that as well. Have to steal some fuel. Yoink. Again, if I had a loaf, would have had the goods. This thing is, yeah. bit too nuts for its own good. Supposed to be a simple mission, but I think the broken suspension, yeah, is making like I can't turn or anything. I am attempting to drive, despite what it might look like. You have two choices: work in the factory, work in the prison camp. Oh my god. Where's the goddamn professional? Do you know what? I'm not sure. I think I just grabbed this, didn't I, out the garage and just set off. I'm going to have to get him out though, because I need the suspension fixed pretty badly. We'll just make it a bit nearer to the garage. I believe, I've got to take this to like the other side of the garage or something. At least factory has breaks, days off and vacations, no one beats you, tortures you, slightly less miserable existence. It's true. It does help. All the perks of the job. At least with this truck, I like that the engine at least sounds like it's putting in a good day's effort. I hate it when you get trucks that just sound like they're barely on tick over, which the game has a habit of doing via rev caps when you get into like awkward, muddy, sort of snowy sections. But yeah, I like that you can hear like the turbo whistling and all that. That's what I want to hear. Sounds a bit weird. I didn't change any gear in the end. I must have made it go into first gear, but it's close, but I think we're going to make it. Like it doesn't understeer. Playing the game right now, just to let you know, I love hearing you ramble about things indefinitely on the background. Keep it up. I appreciate it, dude. I do, I've got this whole rambling thing pretty sussed. Did I just hear a weird as fuck noise then? That just sounded right in my ear, like something just went whoosh, right past my ear. That was almost a bit creepy for a second then. I assume it was on the game. I hope it wasn't. Either that or I'm about to get fucking eaten by something. Oh no shit, sorry. Loaf. Repair. It was worth a go. Uh-oh. Always has to be a tree something to ruin the day. Oh yeah, this is where I had to pull the bandit. Was it the bandit? Something out of here. Which I have to say, if you go back and watch that video, the loaf absolutely yoinked that thing out of there for fun. And we are done. So yeah, this flatbed, it does look better. But yeah, the sideboard does give you one little extra chance in case you tip. Done. Yeah, like I say, overall that's still a pretty fun truck. I won't probably have it in my lineup in the long run because it does take like a sizable chunk of the memory when you actually add them on. In fact, just as the last thing, I'll load back to the main menu and can just have a quick look. And then yeah, the Goliath, I definitely would recommend getting that. That does take up like a bit of a chunk of memory as well, but it's not. I'd say it's worth it for how good the truck was, how like sort of multi-purpose it is. It was doing the login. Pulled that 8-slot trailer along just fine. So yeah, all the other normal trailers are going to be pretty easy. That noise is you going insane. I don't know if that didn't show up on the game. That's going to freak me out more because that was pretty loud and clear, like in my left ear. It honestly was like someone was stood next to me and just went whoosh, past my ear. It's off to bed for me. Enjoyed the stream, Eric V. I appreciate it, dude. Cheers for popping in, and yeah, enjoy your sleep. Robot by choice. Watch a movie called The Courier. Goddamn Professional is in it at the end. Do you know what film there was, or something I watched? That was a little while ago, and I'm sure I've seen a goddamn horse in there as well. Oh yeah. I can't remember the name of the film. It was they went to Chernobyl. And it was like, I can't remember if it was like zombie monsters, something was eating them. But there was a loaf in there, and someone sabotaged it, which was goddamn crime against humanity. Loaf comic panel reading Psychic Times. Headline reads, attacked from behind while reading. Pick as in reading. Thanks for the stream, Wolf. Really appreciate your content. It's like when they say though, horror movies, people stay on. Start getting scared that you're not alone, and it's like the best thing to be when you're watching a horror movie is alone. It's when you're not alone that you want to start worrying. You start hearing something growling from the sofa behind you. Oh yeah, that does remind me, this has genuinely happened the other day. I don't know what the fuck, I'm not saying it's paranormal, but in my defense, this ain't fucking normal. My TV was off, black screen and everything, and it started talking, and the weird thing was it was crystal clear, and yet I didn't understand a word it said. And I know that sounds like I'm going insane. I promise it ain't me. I don't know. Again, it must have been some glitch going on with the telly. I'm not saying it's like ghosts or something, but it was off. The only thing it could have played was something on Amazon or whatever. But yeah, it shouldn't have been able to, and it just the TV started talking for like 20 seconds. But yeah, it was like it made no sense what it was saying. I don't know how to explain it. That's the only way I can. It was like perfect English, but just complete random words or something. Like it didn't make any sense. And it was like a person talking, not like a robot voice. It was just like mid-conversation. I don't know. Fuck knows. But it's never done that before. David Kaiser, there was no noise. I'll have to look into this. Is this one of these Matrix? There is no spoon. Oh, Putin. Oh, it depends who the other choice is. But so far, I've been alive, what, 33 years? He's not invaded me yet. So he can crack on. Oh yeah, sorry, what was going to look at was the mod. Yeah, you can see all the mods that flagged up that I can't fit. Where's the bottom? Yeah, so you can see in sort of the bottom right the memory where it's got like a yellow line that's basically full because I couldn't fit anything else. That's what she said. If I disconnect that one, yeah, so that's like a pretty, what's that? Getting on for about a quarter of the memory. That one's probably another quarter, maybe even a little bit more. So just them two, yeah, it's probably freed up. Yeah, a solid half of memory. But again, like I say, I'll probably get rid of that one. I will give them a vote though. They are, oh no, where is it? And this one, I don't know if it's counting the vote or not, but yeah. Oh yeah, I'll probably call it a day there then. No mods yet, that's what it keeps doing, making me reload the menu 5 times over. But like I say, I recommend the Goliath as like long term. That's pretty solid. That Executioner, good for a laugh. And as usual, get yourself a loaf. So I even got the Christmas trailer for that, but just not enough memory to fit them all on. I'll just turn them back on just so I've got the same mods on. Thanks for the stream, Wolf. Really appreciate your content. I appreciate it, dude. Is that elbow folds? Sorry, it cuts like the top half of your name off. David Kaiser. Oh yeah, there was no noise. Oh yeah, I've already written. I was like deja vu for a second there. David Kaiser. I've heard voices in my house a few times. Like one time I heard my grandma yell, "Hello, anybody here?" when nobody was home, and she passes last. Yeah, it's definitely like there is a few weird things. It's one of them. Like I say, with ghosts and all that, I'm willing to accept a better explanation, but until someone comes up with it, again, like the biggest thing I've seen, I've said it before, was that shadow on the wall at my parents' house. I seen it, my mum's seen it, we both seen it. It wasn't for a split second, it wasn't out of the corner of my eye. I watched it appear on the wall behind, pretty much behind my mum, walked along the back of the wall, and then I seen it for, I don't know, 5 to 8 seconds, clear as day, both of us, and that shit can't be explained. Or not without saying ghosts. And again, like, I'm willing to have a better explanation if anyone's got one, but it was not a shadow from outside. It was, yeah, I wish I'd had it on. If it was on video, you'd be like, it's bullshit. It's CGI, it's something out of a movie. As I would say if I seen it and it wasn't me who physically witnessed it. Oh, just a party political broadcaster. Can't even talk these days. Random voice talking nonsense on the telly. Must be a party. Oh right, yeah, that sounds about right. Wow, it probably made too much sense to be that. But yeah, that sounds about like the theme of things. Maybe it was. Maybe they're doing a dry run of their 2022 election run. But yeah, I don't know what like say. It was just started talking by itself, but the TV was off. There's no possible way. I even afterwards was like, it wasn't on Amazon, it wasn't on Netflix, it wasn't on anything that would have spoke. And yeah, like I said, I don't think it was paranormal. I'm not saying it was like a ghost, but it must have just been some weird glitch. But it did officially just start talking when it was off. Shadow people. It was some freaky shit. Like, to actually see it. And I'm fucking glad that my mum was there and seen it as well. Because then there was definitely, like, it wasn't just one of them if I was the only one who's seen it and was going, oh, trust me. But it's like, yeah, the fact that she's seen it clear as day as well. For multiple seconds, like, looked right at it. Again, it wasn't one of them, it just quick blink of an eye. It was there for like 5 or 10 seconds. One time I was at the abandoned place and I saw somebody peeking around the corner staring at me and there was nobody there. There's definitely some freaky shit. I'd love to know all that kind of stuff, because again, one day in the future it could just be like, as mad as it sounds, like a different kind of dimension where there's people there, but occasionally they sort of merge together. If you listen to like physics and all that, it's pretty crazy, all the stuff. Like, the closer you get to the speed of light, the time changes, relatively speaking. So if I was like flinging around the Earth at say like half the speed of light, yeah, I'd age slower than people on Earth, relatively speaking, and all that. It's all pretty crazy, physics and all that, so that's why I quite enjoy it. But yeah, one day all this could all be explainable. Robo by choice, morning Wolf. True, what time is it? Coming up to 6:30, so it's not quite, it's still dark here until about 7, half 7. Yeah, like I said, I won't ramble on too long though. I'll actually I'll call it a day. But yeah, I appreciate everyone popping in. Again, at some point, I'll still be having like days I'm not doing videos at the minute, just because I'm trying to sort of pace it out over just do a video 7 days a week and then run out for the next month of having anything to do. But yeah, overall, I'm still going to be back doing what I'm doing. It's just if they added the next phase tomorrow, I'll be back to flat out tomorrow. But yeah, either way, I'll be back pretty soon, whatever I'm up to. But enjoy the rest of your days and everything. Oh yeah, and the other thing as well, at some point I might try some kind of different game. That Aliens game, I did have a little go on that, and yeah, I think I sort of briefly mentioned it. Basically I might end up playing the Aliens game by myself, because apparently, like, the alien independently kind of roams around the map trying to find you, so it's not just one of those linear game things where it's always going to be the same sequence of events. There's items that you can scavenge around the map. They apparently spawn randomly as well, so again, you can't learn where stuff is. A lot of it will just be... So I could kind of get a feel for the game without ruining the surprise of it, if that makes sense. The bit I've played so far, I've not come across an alien yet, so I still have yet to shit my pants when that thing first tries to eat me. Yeah, so I might have like mess around with that, but again, it's not going to be anything like major. SnowRunner's still going to be my main kind of thing I'm doing. But yeah, just to mix it up a little bit, it's either make no video, or if I end up messing around on another game and I can knock a video together with it, and I may well do. Ever heard Coast to Coast AM, overnight radio show from the USA, covers the unusual, unexplained, paranormal, UFO, etc. It's online. I don't think I have heard of it. No, I might have heard of some stories off it and that. I know you Americans, we Area 51 and all that. Got all kinds of good shit going on. David Kaiser, if you want to set up a Discord server, I'll be able to help you. I appreciate it, dude. When I get round to it, like I say, I'll have to have a read up on it, and then yeah, when I kind of get to that point, I'll have a word with you. So yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, I will stop there then. Otherwise I could ramble on and on. But yeah, whatever you guys are getting up to for the day, night, whatever time it is for you, enjoy it. And yeah, thanks for watching the stream, and I'll be back soon.